Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Gimmick, your bi-weekly wrestling show. We make movies, Tristan. I'm joined by,
I'm the I'm the iguana maniac, I suppose.
I didn't want to tweet at it or message him because I knew it made me change it. But like, I suppose it's going to have a goddamn iguana thing. I swear, too bad we didn't have like custom wrestlers allowed in GM mode for online because you would get iguana and just like push him to the moon. Seen it everywhere, and I've seen the tweets. But yes, later on, Aspo's gonna review. We were just talking about this off air. He's gonna review Worlds Collide. We'll talk about that a little bit because he's watched that. But this is a pretty just WWE centric show. I'm sure something AEW might come up in a tangent or comparison or some free agent talk because we're talking about Mariah May debuting in NXT. We're gonna talk about Worlds Collide. We're gonna talk about some semi King of the Ring predictions, more just who we think will be the finals and winners because we have, other than Charlotte and Jade, I don't think there's anybody else that's been announced, right? So
No.
yeah, very loose. Then we're gonna review Money in the Bank, maybe talk about Raw for tomorrow, just in case if we think some stuff's going down. But yeah, so just a WWE centric show because since our last one, nothing major in AEW's happened. We talked about, you can go back last episode, we talked about Monet and Tony Storm and Hangman and Mox, and as we just talked about off air, we've been talking about Okada and Omega all year, pretty much since he got back. That was kind of
Yeah, I mean that
streamlined.
was literally like his first appearance back was then them at World's End with the All In sign in the middle. I
Yes.
mean they were pretty much doing like point at the WrestleMania sign at that
Yeah.
point. But
And I'll say, because like in case I'm not in the all in predictions one, I've said this for the past whatever. I still think this match is like a big mistake because I feel maybe I won't say that. I just feel like people are preparing. Like all the clips are going around. Like today is, I think it was, I can't remember the anniversary, but I shared in the Discord. It's like the 5, 6 year whatever. The first time Kenny won the IWGP Championship, and that was such a big moment because that series was tied up into that match, and then Kenny won, and he's like has 2 wins. There's like 2 wins, a tie, and a win, but that was like a big moment. And I remember when I watched that match being like, this is where we should end. This should be the end. Never do it again. And I get Tony, he's a big mark, but I just feel like as long as people have the right idea that these guys are, I won't say much older, but almost half a decade older. Okada's Okada now, but he can still go. Kenny almost fucking died. Like, I think they need to expect a very different match. But I just feel like from my timeline, the tweets I see, it's just like, oh, these beasts are gonna be back together. So it's
I
just
mean,
like,
I feel
no,
I feel like it's one of those matches where, however it does go, people are just gonna say like it was like a 6-star match, or
there
like
could
I
be,
feel like
yeah.
there's nothing they could do that people like either way would, unless it was just like an awful match, which I don't think
Yeah,
is gonna
or
happen.
mid-injury
But
match where someone goes down, and like,
yeah,
and don't be wrong, I am somebody, it might be like the most boring, oh, you're one of those people, but I do agree that I don't know if I have Omega and Okada as my, we did our top 10, that first one at Wrestle Kingdom. If anyone says that's the greatest match of all time, I won't argue them. I think it is fantastic. I remember this is when I left watching WWE and I watched that match. I had heard all the hype and I knew the winner. I'm like, this isn't gonna live up. And I remember even in the match thinking like, oh my god, Omega's gonna win this, and having to check up like, no, you know the result, you idiot. Like, you've heard about this for years, but it was that good. So I'm excited. I don't know what comparable is, but I'm down for whatever, some callbacks I'll probably try and watch. Have you ever watched that series before?
no,
You've always threatened.
there's a lot of like famous matches that I purposely haven't seen just in case we're gonna do something on
True.
like the Gimmick. Like a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
the
true.
big WrestleMania, like I haven't seen a lot of like big WrestleMania matches just because like maybe I do something for the Gimmick like one day.
Yeah, well, next year we are gonna do some retros. Now that we're bi-weekly, we'll do some. So yeah, maybe we'll try and put a poll up at that point or something. But yeah, so and then yeah, Money in the Bank we're talking about, and I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so we'll talk about all of next month. We'll do Night of Champions and be probably the next time. Hopefully Dave will join us. David was supposed to be on this, but last time he was Mexico here for the draft, and then this time it was a lady have been stuck in the airport all day. So, but we do have another Gimmick in June, and then at some point we're gonna do GM mode week 6 to 10 for season 2, and that'll be fun. I just actually played some this morning while I was waiting for the kids to wake up because like, oh, I got to start. That's what I'm doing now. I don't play GM mode until we get close to the stream, so I can have it roll in
Yeah,
there.
have
But
it fresh. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, let's get rolling. What did you think of? Well, actually, I want to know the draft results because I remember you being like,
Okay.
oh, I don't want Seth Rollins to win, which we're going to talk about, and he did win. So you and I both had the Money in the Bank winners. So obviously, we'll have to see what happens in the cash in. But you had
I'll say, interestingly, this week we got the exact same amount of points.
Oh, okay. I'm right on your heels still. Damn it. Or not even, but still. Okay. Keeping up with you.
Or you're ahead.
Oh, I am ahead. Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
know I took it because
Well,
last
like
time update
last
I
time you
was
were ahead, yeah.
right. No, I guess I was. I forgot. Yeah. Right. That was the first time ever I was ahead. That's never been happening. That's supposed to always. It's been me and David back and forth. But that's what's clearly been the number one
Well, I'll
slot.
just
So
read off the points then.
yeah.
So David is at 105 points. Then I am at 357 points. And then Travis is at 363
Oh
points.
man, that's all it takes is one cash in on a pay per view or a Raw. Seth, I need you to save it till Saudi. Wait till Saudi. Wait till they do Jay and Logan too, and then boom, cashed in there. But
Yeah, I can break down the points for this week, I guess.
yeah,
So I
sure.
got a point for Cena being in the match in the main event. I got
Bastard.
points for Penta winning on SmackDown and being in the ladder match. I got points for Naomi winning the Money in the Bank, a point for Punk on Raw, points for Julia on SmackDown and Money in the Bank, same for Roxanne as
Mhm.
well. And 4 points for Solo losing at Money in the Bank on a PLE.
That's good. Yeah, especially those. I don't know what happened with those betting odds that made them go up so high for a
Because
minute there.
there was a wrestle votes was like I saw someone point out too that wrestle votes they get a lot of like a lot of the stuff
Stories,
they
right?
get
But the
like
results
fake
not.
it's like bloodline related stuff. Like they were the ones like they said like there's gonna be like the tribal chief championship and they
Right,
said Roman
right.
was main eventing the first Raw on
Paul's just
Netflix. So I
fucking
feel
with
like
them.
there's
Yeah.
yeah, there's someone on like the bloodline side because yeah, their report was the Money in the Bank winners are her Rhea or Naomi
Yes, I saw
or
this. Or Seth or Solo.
Solo and
Yes.
Seth or Seth. So it's
Yeah.
like
Which
yeah.
technically they're right, but that's like, but that's where at least Naomi and Rhea, that's the ones we talk about. Hey, if it's one of these two, it's probably these. Soul came out of nowhere, and sometimes that happens. Where obviously that
If
happened
someone
with,
want to make money off those betting odds,
well,
they
yeah, well,
leak
exactly,
Solo.
right.
That Solo himself, he's like, I need some money.
I feel like it's less now. There's more fake outs like that Drew one at Chamber, but I feel like in the odds that would happen a lot where all of a sudden the day of the odds would go up and then that person would win and you're like, oh, and then you got spoiled. So for a while betting odds were almost, that is just spoiled, like that it was the result, like someone was making good money back in the 2010s and because you would just all of a sudden like Dolph Ziggler would shoot up. It's like, what? Oh, he's winning
Yeah.
the Intercontinental title, I guess. Cool, so
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, for you, you got points for Rhea on SmackDown and in Money in the Bank. Seth winning.
yeah, man.
Braun had a match at some. Oh yeah, on Raw. You got points for Jay winning on Raw and on Money in the Bank because Raw is technically a DQ win.
Mm.
Then you got 10 points for Becky winning the title, but then you lost 8
Yeah.
points for Lyra losing the title. And then 1 point for a Liv Morgan match that was on Raw, I think.
Too bad none of us had Stephanie, Paul on SmackDown,
Well,
on Money in the
David has
Bank.
Stephanie.
Oh, does he? Did he actually get
Yeah.
where? Oh, I didn't. I
So
feel like I've not
David,
updated
yeah,
that.
David
Okay.
got 6 points for Stephanie
Okay.
on losing at Money in the Bank, but yeah, being on SmackDown and Raw.
Okay.
Points for Cody winning his match. LA Knight on SmackDown and Money in the Bank. Bronson Reed had. Bronson Reed? What was his match? Oh, he was in a tag team match, I think.
I think so. Yeah, with Braun, the other
I'm
Braun.
pretty sure. Yeah, so, oh, okay, that'd be 1 point then. And then Balor, he won a tag match, I think. And then, yeah, and we all got main event points.
Yeah, that was
So,
nice. So there we
yeah.
go. Well, Yumi, the race is on. David needs some. He needed that LA Knight Money in the Bank win last night. He needs some big ones, but he did make some switches because a lot of those people were either hurt or cutting a lot of promos. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, what did you think of Money in the Bank overall?
I thought it was a fun show. I enjoyed it. I thought like it was weird like also I felt the same for like Worlds Collide. I feel like there were some matches I thought were gonna like over deliver
Hmm.
that didn't and then some that I wasn't like that excited on I ended up liking a lot more than I expected.
Yeah, yeah. No, I thought it was a good time. It breezed by for the most part. I think. Because let's see, because we had the women's, and then Dom, and then we had Lion. Yeah, to me, all of it pretty much delivered. We'll talk about the Dom match where I thought that was just it is what it is. But yeah, it all delivered. You got multiple big moments in each match. Yeah, we'll talk about one of them. I think was definitely on a caliber, top three, top five, and obviously a big moment at the end there. So no, it was a good show. Like I think like it's like I don't know where I'd rank it like because it depends if you're given letter grade or number grade, but I
I
was
gave it like a 3.5 out of 5.
yeah, I think I would agree. I think I agree with that because I think, yeah, we'll talk about each match individually, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think there's
I have
that's about
my
right.
rankings there. I'd have it at like I have it above Backlash, below the Rumble.
Oh, you got those. I haven't even done that. Yeah, that's a good way to
Yeah.
keep it
I
like a
have
mood.
for all the ones I've watched. I haven't watched any AEW ones in full this year,
Just the matches.
except Wrestle Dynasty, which I have still as my number one show of
Hmm.
the year because I really enjoyed Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah, so okay, and then so yeah, no, I enjoyed the show. It was a good one. Nothing massive other than maybe the thing at the end. We didn't get any cash-ins, but I thought the matches for the most part are all delivered. So yeah, I think it was a good show. I think much better than because what was the last pay-per-view? Gosh.
Backlash, or
Oh,
I mean,
much
because Saturday
yes.
night's main event was, but
Yeah,
that's not
that's yeah.
okay.
So Backlash much better than Backlash for me, but yeah, we started with the women's. Who won is who we wanted. I'll give you credit. You got the prediction as well. I last minute changed because I thought about that Mommy in the Bank briefcase merch, but Naomi
I
got it.
mean, also like in Triple H, no face has ever won Money in the Bank. All heels have won
To me, I it's funny you said that because I was just thinking about that because at some point I did think about Naomi and Seth, and I thought, oh, I think he likes that because he
because cashing in is a heel move.
yes, but then I just thought, I'm like, well, again, why doesn't he just do the like number one contender? Like, I'll see you in a month at SummerSlam, you know? But I did think about that where it's like, oh, that's why he likes it because it is like a slimy sort of thing. But to me, it is the right call. There's a lot of right calls. Like we talked about last week on predictions. You can make a case for Rhea, Roxanne, even Stephanie Fakir, who was like very over with that crowd. Already, she's very over. The way some people are kind of debating about Julia, like sometimes when she comes out, it's like, didn't get the reactions. So it's like with Akir, she's popping in a different way, and I think it's also just because like with her being on SmackDown, Worlds Collide, I mean, you just feel from the company like okay, they're going hard on her, and she does have. I do like the comparison. It is like she has the people's elbow for this decade. Like the Devil's Kiss is that.
I saw someone say, yeah, the most electrifying move since the People's
It
Elbow.
is. It really is. It gets a crowd going. People are waiting for it. There's
And
fun
it's one of those that
counters.
like on paper just like makes no sense as a move, like the
Yeah.
People's Elbow.
Oh yeah, exactly. And like even then, people point out because Charlotte was doing it, but people point out that she did it for many years. But it's the way Fakir does it. And even last night, I was surprised. I liked the spot a lot. I was surprised. I always thought they were gonna save her doing that to Rhea when they had their one-on-one match. But not only did they do it, they did it on a ladder, which I thought was like not too much birthday because it was everywhere. But I was just surprised. But yeah, crowd was really responding to her. But yeah, I
Out
thought
of
this
here.
was a really good match up until yeah, like that's why they're like, okay, we'll do to Rhea, we'll do on the ladder, mega social media numbers. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for when that match happens. But yeah, I thought this match was great up until the last 5 minutes. You know my issues where I just they had two spots that I don't think were worth it. I'm interested to see who the agent was because they had Alexa. There's a moment where they're setting up two ladders standing up, and then two ladders that are doing the whole sprawled out thing where they're on the side and people are going to slam on them, right? And that spot, and it's going to be Alexa and Roxanne doing a code red at the same time. And that spot just took like forever to set up. And you have that weird, awkward thing where people are climbing the ladders and they go down a little and then they start to climb up because like either someone's late for the spot or something's happening. And it also just felt weird in a singles match because it's like that felt like a tag team moment, but it's like, why, like, there's no Alexa Roxanne thing here. And then that happened, and, you know, a little more stuff happened again. And then they did it again later when they had Rhea and Liv hit their finish. It's the same
Or
thing where
Alexa.
or yeah,
Rhea and
Alexa. Yeah,
Alexa.
thank you, Alexa. Where they hit their finish at the same time, and it's like they're not even in a feud. I don't think they're going into it. I just thought those moments really slowed down the match, and they got into that moment where we all know it's scripted, but it does feel like okay, they're waiting for a spot, they're waiting for someone to get here, and just it slowed it down quite a bit. Even in the men's, there's just one moment where I thought, oh, this chop this out would have been a bit better. So I thought those spots weren't worth it, but for the most part I thought it was really good. I thought everyone got a moment. I think Naomi, we talked about this during WrestleMania, that she's like the perfect winner. And I have a pitch for how she should cash in. I'll wait till we get to King of the Ring. That's what I want to happen. But I thought this was a good one, but I think it's not as good as maybe the past couple years for the women's side. Because usually the women
Yeah,
have had the better one, which I
I
don't think
think
they had the better one this
I
year.
think what I saw is like for this one, it's kind of like you can't have any of these people get hurt because they're
Yes.
all gonna be in like major plans. So I feel like that's the difference with like sort of like the star power. Because like on paper, like the men's one, it was sort of like Seth and everyone else. This one was like all six of them had like are like important
Yeah.
people where I feel like they couldn't risk it as much as some other years.
And again, I was fine. I don't need the dangerous spots. Like I'm somebody, I agree with people. I really like Rock and Triple H, and I really like, unfortunately, Benoit and Jericho as a ladder match. Those are matches where they're slower, but they use the weapon a lot, or the ladder's a weapon a lot, and there's not much climbing per se. But obviously, you can't do that, and that's
I'll
fine.
say
That
I
just
was surprised that with the bumps Alexa took. I thought she was gonna go like I said on like when we were previewing. I thought she was gonna go like Randy or and take no bumps at all, but she took someone's
oh
like they
yeah,
like dropped her like in the middle of the ladder and stuff like
that was
that.
brutal because her knees hit at
Yeah.
the same time. So yeah, no, I honestly didn't have any problems with it until just that ending. I think the end stretch for me was that I think for me it's like a probably like a four or so in there. I thought it was enjoyable. Everyone got a moment there. I did like Julia and Roxanne working together, kind of time at the back and just the turn going on there. I kind of still wish. I know it's tough because they were on NXT and Julia beat her, but I feel like there's still like a little meat there on the bone left for when they did that partnership. It just felt like they wanted them, hey, we need Julia on SmackDown, we need Rox here. But yeah, I think everyone got a moment, and I'm excited for whatever Naomi's gonna do. And Naomi had some great gear. So, anything else on the women's?
I don't think so. I'll say I really like Julia's gear as well. I thought it
Yeah,
was really cool. She had like some like I don't know what it was, like some strings or stuff, and she was like swinging it in her entrance. I thought that was cool looking.
yeah, no, everything's cool. I was worried. Does she always hold the mask when she comes out? I was worried that mask was falling off.
Yeah,
That's
she
okay.
always does that.
I've only seen a
Yeah.
couple. I'm not gonna be one of those people on Twitter that pretends I'm a massive Julia fan. Like I am of
Yeah.
what I've seen, but I had not. I've stopped
Yeah,
catching
she's
up
had
on indies and
some
stuff. So
cool stuff with like I think one of her like her one of her debut like when she first did the mask on NXT, I saw like the gear designer posted and it was like it's inspired by like Mad Max Fury Road. I
nice.
forget.
That
I
makes
think it's like
sense
it's supposed to
because it
be
has
like
like
the
the
yeah,
yeah.
that's the inspiration for it. So that I think that's cool.
Has the divot there. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, we'll wait till King of the Ring because I got a prediction there. So we'll talk about King of the Ring and Money Bank together. We got Dom and was it Octagon Junior? Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Oh, not
I
this one.
I guess I'm just surprised about this one because so we thought the whole week they're gonna add a fifth match at some point. They did. I didn't watch World Collide, but like,
I
okay, I
honestly
figured.
didn't think they were gonna add a fifth match. I thought that
I
there was just gonna be four matches.
I just thought they would, yeah. Like this is what I thought. We even said last week, if anyone, it's Dom. And it's funny enough that with this, I get doing it. I just thought that if you're gonna have someone from AAA, I would have rather them have like a big showcase. And this was like, it was either 5 or under 5 minutes, and it just honestly felt like a dark show or dark or a house show match where she's like, they're here, they're gonna wrestle, and then they gotta get on the plane. I just. I just thought it was odd. At the same time, I get it because they want to do a cool down for the crowd. Sometimes you always have those, but it just was a weird moment. But who is Dom right now in the draft?
I
Let
don't
me
think anyone
see.
has them.
Wow, we all fucked up there because he's been on Backlash. He's been here and he's getting easy wins, like
Well, he
easy
hasn't had any
points.
matches since the
I know for the pay per view though, it's pretty good. But yeah, I just thought they would have given them more of a shine here. So I didn't think like I'm not even gonna rate this on Dropkick when I get around to it.
I
Like,
saw someone posting that that like I didn't know this that like Octagon and Pentagon like Pentagon's supposed to be like the evil Octagon or like the original one was. So
so
I saw
so
someone say it's like Octagon is the Flash and like the reason Pentagon was created was like literally they thought like what's an evil version
okay
of an
when he
Octagon
goes
and
by
they're like
Pentagon Junior,
Pentagon,
right?
yeah.
It's so
So I think
funny.
it's like yeah, it's like there was Octagon and Pentagon and like I think it was one of
Was there a
them beat
hexagon
the
in
other
there?
for the mask and then yeah, now they both have their their descendants. Or I think the Octagon Juniors and actually, well, it's like one of those things where it's like it's not actually related
Oh,
to him.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like combo galore. And same thing. Penta's had like 8 names. It's always like, especially
yeah.
when I had to like relearn it. It's like, oh man, I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Dom keeps carrying along, and we'll see. And then after that, we got Lyra and Becky, which I thought had another great match. I think it's gonna be. I think whatever I rate, like I don't think you can do 2.5s on it. I
Yeah,
think that's
no,
where I
it's
am on
okay.
both of them, like a 4, 2.5 of them. It's not exactly a 4.5. I feel like whenever they have their next singles, which could be at Evolution, we'll see. But to me, that's the 5-star win because it always feels like they're, yes, that moment right there, as I was going to talk about. It always feels like they're like holding back just a little because they know, like I think because Becky usually knows her creative plans, they know they're gonna have their big blow off. I I just have in my gut that I think there's gonna be a 5-star between this year, and they've been great. I think Becky has elevated Lyra again. They did do the fucking weird Jericho stip with the whole arms
But
up, but
I liked how they did it because it was
yes,
like it was like the baby face version of it because like she did do what Becky told her to do, which was just raise her arm. But then
hmm,
when Becky went to like, no, you have to do it like to four
yeah,
sides
and then
and
put
put
the
the belt
title
on
on
me.
me,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Then
but
she like,
I worried this because the
yeah, you
second
were
time
like,
when
oh, they're making her, they're geeking her
well,
out.
because they could. Because the second time when she did it and raised her to all four and then started to walk away, I'm like, oh my god, no! Like if they do this, Lyra's dead. Lyra's fucking
Buried.
dead. Yeah, Lyra's fucking dead. She doesn't have like Cody's kid at WrestleMania where he's like, I didn't want to do that in front of Liberty. It's like Lyra, you're gonna look like a dummy. But no, it was great. The German with the belt, and I actually really liked Becky at the press conference about her daughter was in the crowd and she left the crowd. Like I liked Becky's work there, and I think Becky has not that Lyra needed a raise, but has raised her up, and they got good chemistry. Like I said, I think that whatever the final match is, that's gonna be great. But yeah, this was good. And yeah, the Van Dam thing, like Lyra, I think I'm comfortable saying she has like upgraded, and that's like even better because she was already great. But just from where she was from the start of this to now, I feel like she has grown, and I'm excited. But yeah, really, really great match.
No, yeah, I love this match. I'd probably put it on par with the Backlash match. I think this one
I
was
agree.
more physical, just like in the spots they did. I think the other one was a lot more like technical, which just
And more
shows that
mind
they
gaming
can
because
both
Becky was being
do.
more like kind of bully heel
Yeah,
throughout
and
it. Yeah.
she like there was like not
Yes.
a ref bump, but like ref distraction and taking off the turnbuckle and stuff. But yeah, I really enjoy this one. I'd probably go, yeah, like 4 on Dropkick since there's no 0.25, probably go
Yeah.
like 4 stars. But yeah, really enjoy this. And yeah, like I said, I feel like there's like a 5-star in there if they get like
It's
a big
cooking.
step. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I say. So you're on the camp because that's been the big debate where the triple threat for Evolution or the 1-on-1. So where you, I think you're
I
in the
think
1-on-1.
1-on-1, yeah.
Okay, so then if it's 1-on-1, when the hell's Bailey getting back? Because we kind of speculated she could have came back
Yeah.
now, and it's just I just wonder because no one's reported about this, and like the idea was she was supposed to work the tag at WrestleMania, and then plans changed, brother. And based on the interview and her reaction, didn't seem like she was injured, right? Because I feel like, hey, if you were going to WrestleMania, you got injured, I don't think you'd be kind of bummed because like, okay, you'd be bummed, but in the way, kind of feels like she was bummed because she got sat down, right? But I don't think she's hurt,
No,
so I guess maybe,
she's not hurt. She's posted
yeah.
like she's just been doing like going to like wrestling schools and doing like classes with like QT Marshall and
But
stuff.
that's the thing though. Is this a situation where she's like, oh yeah, just go have some time off, or is this a situation where it's like we've seen this before? It's a little awkward and we don't know what's happening, and next year contracts. Like I'm
I think
very.
she signed like 5 years like last year or something.
Was it last year? I thought no.
Yeah.
I thought it was two. I thought in that
Was
Chris
it two?
No, I think that's what people thought. But in that Van Vliet interview, she said her contract's up next year. I thought. I'll Google
I don't
search it,
remember
but
that, but yeah, look it up.
yeah, I'll have to find it. But when do you think she's coming back then? Because at Evolution, if it's 1-on-1, I would say she's not back for that. But it would be really weird if she misses Evolution to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I feel like yeah, you've been saying like triple threat.
Year
Um,
and a half. So on April, she said she's a year and a half remaining. That's so next 18 months. So let's see, that's April. So two. That's what. So end of next year is when her contract's up. And then
okay.
Tony and Monet are looking to make they're warming up those women's tag titles.
When? Yeah, I don't really know when she'd come back, I guess. Because I wasn't really thinking about like triple threat until you mentioned it like last like episode. Because I thought like maybe, because I mean maybe they don't do Lyra and Becky at Evolution or something like that, and it's Bailey and
Mm,
Becky, and then you do a
could be.
triple threat like at SummerSlam.
What do you have Lyra do at Evolution then, though?
I don't know.
I think they're
I
doing a
don't know.
battle
It's hard to
royal.
book it.
I think they're doing a
Yeah,
battle
I
royal
think that's gonna
because
happen.
the way Triple H said, like, oh, we want to make sure everyone's on there. So I would imagine the Saturday Night's main event that weekend probably
Rumors that
won't have
it's
any
like
women, right? I'd
rumors like
imagine,
it's like 8 to 9 matches
which is
is the
fine. Yeah,
rumor
that's
for
good. Yeah,
Evolution.
and I don't think, like I said, I don't think Saturday Night's main event would have any
But
women on
also
it.
the
And
thing is,
maybe
I
one and
think
someone will do double
NXT
duty, but
is because they have NXT the night before, which makes you think I don't think there's gonna be like an NXT title match on Evolution. Like I feel like there
yeah,
could be a battle royal with like NXT
I
women
agree.
in it, or
Yeah.
like a tag match or something. But I don't think the actual titles are gonna get like defended.
No, because to me, if there's 8 or 9, to me those five should be you got WWE, Worlds, IC, United States, and Tag. To me, all the women's titles should be it should be like classic Night of Champions. Like you should have all of them there. So that's where maybe if there's like a battle royal, maybe Lyra's in that. Feels like a bit of a step down. The only thing I would accept is her winning said battle royal. Maybe that kind of leads her getting to a path. Or if there's any legends that are back, maybe there's a dream. Like I don't think they got like Trisha and Lyra planned, but I mean like
Lyra versus Nikki Bella.
oh god, I feel like because we had heard rumors that they were gonna get her on that card, and I don't know if I need that. It just
I think it's more along the lines of I think it's gonna be Roxanne and Nikki because that was the Rumble interaction.
all right. I guess Roxanne will get her big win here finally, because she's been losing lots. But yeah, I'll need some.
They couldn't get AJ Lee for Roxanne.
No, so
So
just like that era, Nikki Bella is the second place, and like, oh yeah, she was part of the Revolution. Yeah, all right. So let's see what we were. So we talked, yeah, this match, and yeah, Lyra lost. Becky holding the tights. Good call up with the roll up because that's how Lyra won last time, right? Was with the roll up
yeah,
in Backlash. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see what happens. See if they do that at Evolution, or if Bailey she's even back this week. That puts a little like heat on the feud. I don't know.
I feel like Becky will defend against someone like random at like Night of Champions. Like I feel like she'll do like, oh, you don't get a rematch, like
Mm.
because I won now or something like that. So like she'll defend against someone at Night of Champions, and then you get into whatever the story's gonna be for Evolution.
I'm trying to think who she'd defend against. I wish
You
they
could
had
do
Natty
like
more heated up than what
yeah, or like Live or something. Like I feel like the option for like any time is like just do Live.
Yeah, but that's heel on heel though, right? Is Triple H going to do that?
Oh
Other than
yeah.
he did that in Saudi once, right, with Liv and Nia. So it's not that he won't do it, but I just don't
I
know
guess
why
a
they haven't done
face.
the Natty Bloodsport gimmick yet. Like I don't know why. Like Natty for the
She's doing it on Evolve, but not
oh
on Raw.
God, come on! I just oh, fucking evolved. Natty hasn't had like any traction in like a decade. She's very talented. Don't get me wrong. I'm somebody she should be a coach, be there for a lifer. That's great. But she's not had like any buzz in a decade. And that whole weekend, that gimmick, the smack of the fan had actual buzz. And the fact that they're like, yeah, let's use this with her. Like that would be a great opponent for Becky right now. Like a badass babyface Natty that's totally changed it up. Not that you think Natty would win, but something. But I just don't know. I'm trying to think of other baby faces. I don't think they do Becky and Stephanie yet because I don't know if they want Stephanie to lose. But that's a problem. They got a lot
Yeah.
of people on Raw that's like. That's why I think Roxanne's taking so many losses because there's so many people I can't see taking loses right now because they do want to keep them strong for stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Unless I wonder if there's even a chance if Bailey comes back. What if you do Bailey and Becky at Night of Champions, and then that's where you do the triple threat at Evolution or the one-on-one? You could use Bailey as a stepping stone, right? To
Yeah,
as
it
like
could
a
be something
carryover.
like that.
Yeah, or if they come back, it's already so I don't know. So we'll see. And then after that, we got the men's Money in the Bank. Yeah, this was fantastic. This was S Bubs, in his youth is going to claim my comparison of this match being really, overrated. It is not. Had to be there, S Bubs. But to me, this is the modern day TLC2. And what I mean by that is you got big spots, you had multiple like storylines kind of coalescing. You had, which I love in TLC2, when it's like, oh, Lita comes out to help the Hardys, Spike comes out to help the Dudleys, Rhino comes out to help Edge and Christian. You had that where multiple people were coming through. You had like a Shield Wyatt stare down, which even though Solo's bloodline's not like dead, but you have fucking, I always want to call him Call, but Mateo and Solo, or Mateo and Fatu staring down with Braun and Bronson. This match, it had peaks and valleys in a good way. It reminds me, because I'm a defender of this as well, of Shawn and Brett the Iron Man, where it's a long match, but they have spots like, oh, Shawn's gonna accidentally kick the ring announcer because that'll make the crowd be like, oh, what's going on? Like, it felt like a match within a match. There was great spots. There's multiple moments where I thought certain things might happen. Like, I did think Penta was going to one moment, like, man, David's a fucking mastermind, because Penta was up there for Penta just keep coming in. So no, I thought this was great.
Yeah, there's spots where like there's spots where even I thought like Andrade's just he's gonna pull down this
Yeah.
briefcase and win
There
it.
was a moment where I'm like, maybe they're gonna give it to him, because I know SRS said like, oh yeah, they're not doing the AAA thing, but I'm like, you never know. And I could see them get Andrade, and
Yeah,
then the next week
there's
McKinn
spots,
go,
yeah, where Andrade I thought was gonna win it. When Gable did the great spot of like the triple ladder climb and he
I thought that
headbutts
was,
Penta,
I thought he
thought
might
that
have
was
it.
it.
Yeah.
And then also like the last one when Seth is like slowly climbing and they're like, oh, it's over. Like Seth won, and then LA Knight comes in
That
and
was
like throws him off.
That's the only one I would take, because it's weird that, okay, so LA Knight's about to win, and that's when the original Bronson and Braun screw him over because we don't have a group name, and then all the stuff happens, right? And the way they booked it to me was like a classic, okay, Seth's gonna go up there and LA's gonna stop him and the babyface somehow wins. But I'm not gonna say they geeked him or nerded him out, but it was like, oh, he got through all the interference. LA goes to get him, and Seth still beats his ass. I would have, for LA Knight, I would have taken out and just said, hey, he had it won until those. You can still say that, but that's the only thing. It felt like a step wasn't needed. Just have Seth walk up there and get the ladder, especially because like they're not on the same brand. So sometimes they do that, right? Like the two finals are gonna have like a feud. Like one time when Cody was about to get the briefcase and Sandow knocked him off, they feuded for like 2 months. Like, I don't think that's happening here. So
I do think they should move LA Knight to Raw though.
I
Whenever
agree.
the draft
Maybe
happens.
maybe the draft could be, and I think that's more in world title contention and stuff. But no, I thought this was great. Like I said, I thought it was layered. It's definitely up there. I have to look at them and rank them. I'll say top 5 to be safe, because top 3, that's very high because I gotta look at them all. But no, this was this like probably what you were insinuating. This over delivered big time, especially with some of the people like. And I'm a Solo defender. I'm not saying he's great, but I think people are just really
This is
hard on
probably
Solo.
like
But
Solo's best.
he delivered here, and the
like,
crowd was popping for him
because
too.
it's
you
the
know?
character. Like they had him
Yes.
as like when he was like the silent, or like when he
He's
was
the
trying to
muscle.
be. It's
Yeah.
like he was trying to be Roman when like he's as good as at doing comedy stuff as like Jimmy or someone like that. And
Yes.
like I feel like this is the correct character for Solo. Like when he was doing like he did the Penta walk at one point. They like didn't focus on it, but he was doing it.
Yes.
I thought he did great here, and he was just a fun character.
No, I was great, and that's where also too I was glad he didn't win, because even we memed, and I thought it could be possible, the idea of, the U.S. title. We've seen the Austin Theory. They had the turn with Jacob Fatu. I didn't watch SmackDown, but you told me they did the Batista turn.
They literally did it.
Yeah, and for me though, that's great, because like, to get Solo and Jacob fighting, we do not need the briefcase. We don't need Solo to fucking cash in on his cousin, and then it's like, this is all you need right here. Is Jacob's had enough. They've already had tension for months. It was a big moment in the match. The I hate you Solo, which I've seen some people say it's cheesy, but I thought it was
because
fun.
like when Solo was climbing and Jacob was like, because he put the ladder up, Solo was climbing and Jacob was like guarding the ladder, and Cole was like, there's no one in WWE who could stop Solo right now. I was like, okay, so Roman's about to come out right now. And it's like, we're going to do Roman and Solo again, I guess.
God, for the briefcase. For the
Or
briefcase,
something like that. But
go
yeah,
on.
then Jacob pulled him out, so obviously that's like, oh, Jacob's the one who can stop him. But
Yeah.
when he said that specific call, it's like, well, Roman's coming out then for sure.
Do you think with him versus Jacob and Mateo, do you think they're going to do just kind of cycle that and like maybe it's a 2v1 scenario, or do you think Jacob's gonna get any help at all from somebody, like even if it's Jimmy, because Jimmy's doing nothing on SmackDown, that they haven't been together really before, but I'm just wondering, or is Jacob just gonna kind of 2v1 them in this feud and he's U.S. champ.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know what they're gonna do. I feel like obviously maybe he needs to find like a tag partner for like a match at some point. But I don't know who they really do with.
Tongalo.
I could even see like maybe like Heyman and stuff like trying to like recruit him or something like
Oh,
that.
geez.
Like that could be
I think
like a
that could be
story.
post Solo though. That's the thing. That could be
Yeah.
later on, depending where he stays brand wise. But do you think that also happens Night of Champion or SummerSlam?
Like Solo and
Jacob for the U.S. title,
Jacob.
yeah. I feel like it's SummerSlam for some reason. I feel like they're gonna
Yeah,
draw it out a bit.
I think so.
And Solo's main
It's
evented at
possible,
SummerSlam.
but
Maybe of the 2020s, he's going to be Mr. SummerSlam, and I think,
is there a Mr. SummerSlam?
to
Like,
me, I actually, for a while, would say it was Randy Orton. I'd have to look up, but that was always my answer, was Randy Orton, because he had a good run of SummerSlam matches. Then, I think around the time of saying that, him and Roman had a stinker. Big Dog Roman him had a real stinker, and I was like, maybe I'm wrong about this. But before, it was like, him and Benoit had a great match. Him and Cena had a great match. He had a great match with Hulk Hogan, in my opinion. Like great, like a fun match. But I'm trying to think if there's There's one more. Oh, him and Undertaker had a good match. Like yeah, for a
yeah,
while I think he
and
was.
there's like not as many like people who had like as tenure as like a Randy Orton to do like multiple SummerSlams like that.
Yeah, some people say Brock because he had some. So here's my first Reddit thing. People say Brock, Randy, Seth, Brett, Undertaker, Edge. Those are like this is my on a popular Reddit thread from 3 years ago. And I agree with like this. Brett is another good one, but I feel like Brett needed a few more catalogs. Edge, honestly, that is a good choice. And Taker, there could be, but Taker always has some stinkers in there, so that's where it's tough. But him and Brock had a really good one there. So, but yeah, maybe Solo will do that. He'll become Solo Mr. SummerSlam Sokoa. But we'll see.
I mean, it's not like the Cody match was good,
Right?
so that's not
Yeah.
off the
Bloodline
not off to a
rules,
good
baby.
start.
Come on. Yeah, Roman came back. Any other spots? Andrade almost lost his manhood. Poor guy. Hopefully, he's wearing a couple of ladders dropped. I love when Pat's talking and he's like, "Oh," and then he goes back to talking, but he saw it. But any other spots in here?
I'm trying to think. Obviously, you talked about the Gable one. That
Yeah.
one was really cool. I'd say I
Tough
like the
launch
spot of
though
him
for when
doing yeah.
Elaine tried to do the catapult. That
Yeah.
was that they did not have enough room there to do that. He should have just probably threw him like an Irish whip or something. But
I like the part where he put the ankle lock on Seth like over
Yeah.
like instead of pulling him down, he pushed him over and then had the ankle lock on and then Penta like suplexed him off that. What other spots did I like? I'll say
Braun
yeah,
got another big
mentioned
spear
Solo.
in
Oh yeah,
on
the
Grande,
spear
yeah.
from Braun.
They
Uh,
almost
Ja-
missed it. They clipped to it like
They
at the
got it, like, the
0.5
last
second.
second,
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
else? Jacob like Samoan dropping Bronson Reed.
Right.
That was
Yeah,
really
that was
cool.
big. Yeah.
And I think that's about it. But yeah, definitely over delivered. I'd go like on Dropkick, I gave it like a 4.5. Like I really
I'm
enjoyed
with
this
you.
match.
I'm with same thing. If there's like a meter, I'd be like a 4.75 because honestly, it was just that little bit at the end, and I can't remember. There was something else. I looked at my notes, forgot to write it down. But
I think
yeah,
they're
and then
adding point 0.25 soon.
There we
They have
go.
like a poll if
Very-
people wanted it or not. I
very
voted no, but
specific for our
yes
wrestling
won.
fans. We
Yeah.
need that thanks to Dave. But no, and then we didn't actually talk about, but it's kind of to me, we had some thoughts and whatnot. I guess you did actually the 8th hour change your mind on Seth because last week on the show you said Seth, but then you pulled me what I did with Rhea. You said they're gonna go with the Penta
I thought it
hype
was
pick.
like too obvious for Seth to win, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I feel like now it's like if you're gonna like just push him, if you're actually gonna push him,
Yes,
like
yeah.
if you haven't won at Mania and win Money in the Bank and hopefully win the title, like that's like you don't need to like just push him if you're gonna give him this.
Yeah. And like I said, because I personally think and we'll start talking about the cash-ins, but as I said last week, now they've made Seth and Punk the only two people to win the ladder match twice, and I think that'll come up in the future. Punk was the only thing. The fact that Punk was in the match and they screwed him over, I was like, man, especially at the end when he was climbing the end, that's where I thought, oh, LA Knight is going to win this because there was no Punk appearance and Braun and Bronson were gone because I thought, okay, if the Braun and Bronson are out there and Punk comes to fight him, that's gonna take Punk out, but that didn't happen. So it's like, oh no, Seth's gonna go up there, ladder push, LA Knight gets the win. Especially when they're like, LA, I forgot they were in LA, so they were really hamming up. I'm like, oh man, and I had heard some other people which I agreed with that, like LA did need it because it's just like I agree with you, they could just put him on and figure out later, but they do got to give him like a big win at some point here because it's just the guy is still consistently over pops and stuff and everything. But so yeah, Seth wins it. Do you think the cash in is happening in the next 24 hours?
I'd say I'm not sure. I've been predicting it. Yes, I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say yeah, it is. I think it's gonna
Go
be
with your
like
gut this time.
full, yeah, just full shenanigans. But I think Seth will still pull out the win here.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
there's enough factors to like take everyone out. Like, I think he has like Braun and Bronson. You're gonna have probably like Sammy and Punk out
mm-hmm.
there, and like you
Hell, there
said,
could even be a new
Goldberg.
member at one point. Like
Yeah,
if they have
that's it.
another, if it's a male, it
I
could
was
be the new
honestly
member.
thinking like,
It's
yes,
Goldberg. He's
no,
he's the new
no.
member of the group, and he screws Gunther.
Like yesterday before Worlds Collide, I was thinking like Ethan Page loses, and then
Mm,
like at Money in the Bank you have like Sammy and Punk take out like the crew, or like they take each other out, like they go through the barricade or like through like off a stage or something, I don't know, and like oh everyone's down, and then like Ethan Page as the new member helps Seth win or something like that. Like I feel like, but I don't think it's gonna be Page, like because I think he's gonna be in
not if he
NXT for
retained
like a
now.
bit more.
Yeah, because
Yeah, and he
I think
retained.
you weren't alone. I think many people like I don't watch NXT as much as you guys, but I thought the same thing that he was probably going
And
to
I
lose
think
it,
they're
but he
probably gonna
got
do
it. So
another Paige and Ricky match because on NXT they
mm,
had like an injury, like oh like Ethan Page, like they had like an X-ray. It's like he broke his
of
jaw or
course.
something like that.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they didn't say his jaw, but obviously like some like medical term, like he tore his
yeah.
something ligament or something like that. So I feel like that always sets up like oh he's gonna come back and they're gonna do another match, and they haven't had a spit match, so.
It is. I will say that is weird if because we thought the call ups were happening. It to me is weird if Ricky stays there for a bit or even wins that title back. Because it is funny that people showed that interview when he said he wanted to start wrestling some Raw and SmackDown people. Then the week after they take the title off him. I don't think it's that, but it was funny timing. But I think it is odd if I to me if I was Ricky Starks, if you're still in NXT for a while and they did this big Worlds Collide show and they like took you off it. I know you made some good points why Ethan works well with some of those people, but to me that'd be like, okay, let's see what Ricky can do. And then as I said last week, I'm very pissed
I
about
think
Jordan Grace. I fucking picked her potential waste pick now because they're keeping her down there. These fucking wrestling dirt sheet people screwing me over with my draft here. My God, I'm still in the lead, but that's a wasted pick right there. So
But yeah,
um
I think it
yeah.
made sense to get like for the title on page 4, Worlds Collide, for him to be like the heel there.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, now he did post a picture. He said now he's like the ultimate North American champion. Like he had a him with a flag that was like a third Mexico, a third United States, and a third Canada.
Oh Jesus. Okay, but yeah, no, probably won't be Paige, but yeah, we'll
But
see.
yeah,
And yeah, no, I think
I'll say Seth. I'll go on my prediction from last show, which I think
mhm.
he cashes in the match to make it a triple threat
Yes,
for no DQ. Full stuff happens, everyone gets taken out, and like Gunther's down and out, so Seth pins Jay, wins the title,
yeah, to
and
me,
that sets up, I think, because also a rumor going around. I think it was Abu. He said the long term plan is Gunther as a face, but not as like a smiling baby face, but just as like
yeah,
same way he's an honorable heel, more like I like an honorable face. So I think eventually you do Gunther Seth, and
you
I
could
think
even
him screwing Gunther is a like a tease for that.
Yeah, that could be many spots, right? It could be Survivor Series, Rumble. Hell, if you want to, you can do WrestleMania because they talked about that WrestleMania at one point, right? Like that's a match they
Yeah,
had
that was
penciled
like,
down.
yeah, it was written down as
Yeah,
one.
so to me, I still think, yeah, I think Jay takes the pin. I don't think you want Gunther to take another loss right here. I said this last week where if it's the triple threat, which I agree with, you have Bronson and Braun going there and you hurt Jay and
And it's
Gunther.
like the heist of the century thing too.
Yeah, but this one's almost even worse because like that one at least was like not worse than a qual way, just like at least that was like, oh, Seth picked a spot and stole it, right? This is ultimate cheating. You're just gonna have a triple threat and then just have two guys help you win the champ. Like this is like
Yeah.
such like a worse, like scummier way to do, it, which fits with his
But I
character,
mean, yeah,
right?
that's the the
Yeah.
point.
So I think you should do that, and I also think that super protects Jay and Gunther because it's like, yeah, one, it's a triple threat, but two, it's like it was 3 versus 2, and Jay and Gunther right now aren't the best of guys like buds, so it's not like they're gonna work together and tag up, right? So
I mean, unless that's building to like
I think that could be
the
after.
face turn,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's after where you get the whole
Because Gunther
can they
is the
trust each
honorable.
other
Like,
tag.
I wonder if
Yes.
they'll even do like this has happening on, and like Gunther's obviously like I think Gunther's gonna fight back against like Bronson and Braun
Oh yeah.
if this goes no DQ. Like he's gonna be chopping them and
And then
power bombing them
you
and
can even
stuff.
have Gunther be upset with how Jay lost out because that's an honorable way to lose it, right? So no, I
Yeah.
think you will get the can they trust each other classic
Like
tag
I
match
said,
with Jay and
this is
Gunther.
the bar
Yes,
too.
yeah, and hey, that's what they do at SummerSlam because I still think I don't know, and Gunther could be SummerSlam. I still think that I think they do. I'm not. I know I've seen some people turn on. I haven't turned on yet. I do think they have to cap off the Punk and Seth feud soon. Now I think it hasn't gone too long for me, but for me, I think if it goes past SummerSlam, we're getting that point. So for me, I think you do Jay and Seth at Night of Champions, and then to me, you do Punk and Seth the blow off at SummerSlam where Seth would win. It's the and then you get Punk somewhere else, whether don't know if you draft him somewhere, he trades, he takes time off. Obviously, he won't be around for the Saudi show, but I
Because
just
I'm thinking like if we're doing like because I feel like if we're doing war games at Survivor Series, obviously one of the teams is gonna be Seth, Bronson, Braun, and like the fourth member. So I feel
yeah,
like are the good guys gonna be like Jay, Gunther, and like
Punk
two other
Roman.
guys? Yeah, yeah,
That's to me. I just feel like if it's going to that point, I think Punk and Seth. I think people will really lose interest of it, and it'll go on too long. I think you have Seth beat him, and you shift to Roman and Seth because I think they're going to get back there at some point, and then have Punk do something because now not that it's been bad, but Punk since he's been back has pretty much just been tied with Drew and Seth his entire run. Like let's see. I honestly don't think it's a. People are going to hate me saying this. I don't think him and Dom is like an awful program. They've been like they keep feuding on
yeah.
social media. They keep telling each other F off. Like I think Dom defending his Intercontinental title against Punk, and he doesn't have to beat him, but I think there's actually some heat there. Like have Punk do some like fun mini feuds after this because he's been on two just very long. Even the Roman one that's from like November to Mania. I do want them to do Punk and Roman at some point, but that's what I'd like is Seth to beat him at SummerSlam and then him do a bunch of he fights Dom, he fights who's another like heel on he can go after Chad Gable, I guess, for a little bit, like something like fuck,
Yeah.
even give him the IC title for a bit. Like I don't think he wants the world where the IC. It's like Punk could miss a couple shows as IC champ and people aren't going to be pissed about it, right? So
Yeah.
I'm saying it's Punk and Seth at SummerSlam. That's my prediction, and I think he cashes into more. And Jay, yeah, he gets a Night of Champions, and I don't know what's next after that. So and I
Yeah.
guess even Roman at War Games, you could do that because you got Roman and Jay together, right? You can do that. And Sammy, so there's like a mini bloodline. It's like the bloodline with
Roman
Gunther.
Mr. War Games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. War Games. I'm just pitching the bloodline with Gunther. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was thinking. Let's like Roman, Sammy, Jay, Jimmy, and Gunther.
Yeah, because
He's the new honorary Uce.
there were those rumors that Jimmy was going to go to Raw recently, right? Because at
Yeah.
first, remember that rumor was that they were going to do the 6 man with Scott and Jimmy. And at this point, they probably should because like Jimmy's got well, it's tough though with Naomi, right? Because with his wife, maybe that won't happen. But I just feel like he's just being one of us should have drafted him as like a jobber guy because he's just putting people over now, and that's all he's doing. He has no story. Like everyone, at least from the bloodline, has something even Solo has like He's got nothing going on.
I feel like
Zero.
they are
So
gonna reunite like the Usos though
yeah.
soon.
Because then you can do Machine Guns and Usos. You can even do IOI. I thought there was another tag team either going to WWE or they're Fraxium right there. We talked about that. Usos, like give the Usos like a bit like a main event where it's like they're elevating the tag titles even if you don't need to. So, God, who else is there? Yeah,
Street
you
Profits
could
again.
Street Profits. You could do New Day again, the heel New Day, right? But I think it's a right time for a reunion, and you can always break them off at any point. So, and then we got the men's tag to end it all off. You got Cody and Jay versus Logan and John Cena. What do you think about this one, I suppose?
I thought it was okay. I thought
Mhm.
by the end it did pick up, like when Cody finally tagged in. Like I said, the Cody Cesaro hot tag where he just goes crazy. But I did see the stat. They worked over Jay before the tag for 12 minutes.
That was a lot of time.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, I somehow was more positive on it. I imagine listeners might think I would be, but it's all the back half stuff. I think the
Yeah,
first half.
I think like I
Yeah.
think like literally once Cody tags in, it becomes a good match.
Yeah. For me, that I agree. The first half feels like if you've been to a house show and the tag team's the main event,
Yeah.
that's what this was. It was. I said that about the Dawn, like that Dawn Octagon is a house show. And this was really the first half was a house show tag, and I was like, oh boy. And again, we talked about right, like why is it going on last? There has to be a reason. So at least that was fun to speculate, and that got the match further. But at the time, it's like, oh brother, like if they have nothing and this is just the ending, but like you
Yeah,
said, when Tony,
if you're gonna get Fiend and Travis Scott runs out
well,
and
that or even
hits Cody.
like I said to you in the Discord, remember last year, all that the speculation was, oh, Roman's coming back, he's coming back, and then
Oh, yeah,
Soul just
Solo
pinned Cody,
Cody,
and
yeah.
everyone's like, fuck, worst pay-per-view, what a disaster ending stuff. And I thought like Triple H did book that, and I didn't think it was. I understood that Roman was waiting, so I wasn't mad about it. But I understood people being disappointed, like they could do that again. But I think they were smart here. But no, the match, the hot tag was really, really good. Cody's like definitely been bulking up, and his hair is like old school AW, where he's doing more
It
like
is like, yeah,
white,
it's like gray.
it's platinum blonde, yeah, platinum gray blonde. But that was good. The fucking drone thing finally paid off because we talked about this at Mania where that was just distracting. Where here it was great where Paul had it there. You got to see Cody do the suplex and then Jay's splash.
The Uso splash,
Yeah,
like
out of
sent
nowhere.
the drone out of his hand. Yeah.
That was great, and maybe it's because I got a soft spot. It's all my video game players. I love when Ultimate Dragon used to do it. I love the Asai moonsault, and Paul hit a fucking perfect one because we've seen in some of the biggest matches, Michaels versus Angle. Sean did that same thing. We're from the ring post, and then he landed on the fucking. He cracked his ribs right on the table on like the edge of it. That is a hard thing to do, and of course, that's always what Paul's thing is. Like I'm really athletic, but this was like a very over athletic one. Like, okay, very very impressive, and it was a good spot. For a second, I did think because I dropped in Discord, I'm like, oh, they might have like Seth could.
I
At one
honestly
point,
thought because for a second, like I think I was
they had
thinking,
trainers
like,
by him and doctors. It's like, oh, they're gonna do the thing where Jay's hurt, and oh, let's get him out of here, and then burn it.
I was
down.
thinking they were gonna do like for a second. I was like, are they gonna already do the Cody hits Cena with the belt here? I was like, because obviously that's the payoff. Like when the refs were all looking at him and Cena had the belt, I thought they were gonna already pull the Cody takes the title and hits Cena with it.
Oh yeah, which they gotta
That's
save
like
for,
the
right?
payoff,
That
which
is.
then because then Cena just hits him with it. And it's like, oh, I guess they're gonna lose. He's just gonna lose again.
Even worse than no Archer
Yeah.
surprise. He pins Cody. That's it. He's not doing
Yeah.
the program. Yeah. So, no. And then we obviously we got this moment which has been lots of fun memes online. But a guy in black attacks him, which I was like, oh, are they? Because then I'm still thinking, I'm like, is
For
this
a second,
like?
just like not thinking of like the body types at all? Because I did see like his skin. I was like, is this like
I didn't
just
at
like
all. I missed it all
Obafemi,
until
like shock debut? But I wasn't even thinking of the body type. But I'm like, who would like take down Cena, and that would be
Yeah.
like a big moment. So that my mind just went to like, this is Obafemi taking down Cena.
Yeah, see, I didn't see his skin color, but I was like you, where I was cycling through the NXT people because I was like, I just don't see him on the main roster. But then
he did like a spear, and I was like,
yeah,
Braun, like he was just on the show. Why would he like? You wouldn't
not-
have him
yeah,
in a
it was not-
hoodie.
he didn't have the
like,
frame of
everyone
Braun,
knows-
yeah. And to me, but that's in that thinking when I was thinking about Jay, it didn't make any sense. But at the time, I was like, oh man, is this going to be the Seth fourth guy and he's going to cash in on Cena? Because like everyone thinks it's, and I was like,
Yeah.
and personally, I was like, don't do this. That's a
Who,
messy.
did you even get the chance to think of like a
No, I
fourth guy,
didn't
or
because
were you
I was just
like
trying to.
scrolling through?
I was trying to think
Yeah.
of who could be in the Heyman group. Like that's all I was, and then boom, Truth took it off. But I was like, who? And that's all I was saying. And I was genuinely surprised. Did not think it was Truth. He got a big pop, and I guess he is back. We've gotten some details where, much to the chagrin of Triple H, it is a work. Keep watching, brother. That's the part. Just like,
We
man,
made movies.
that's the problem with both of these, with AEW and WWE press conference, where this is what the AEW press conferences I hate now, because before the Punk incident, they were always non-kayfabe. There was like maybe 5% in all the press conferences they did like a little kayfabe, but it was always people it's just full on interviewing, especially those first like 3 AEWs. They didn't have a booth. It was just like Cody.
We're gonna retro them.
Yeah. There was just Cody like standing in his locker room, and they're talking to him, and he's like talking about his wife and other stuff. Like they were really cool, and then they kind of got like very business savvy. And then now it's a lot of kayfabe on there, right? We're to the point where I usually just skip until Tony's on to hear and even at least Tony now has been starting to answer things again. But for like 8 months, he was fearful to say anything like, "Oh, you gonna come to Texas? Well, I love Texas. I've always loved Texas. Texas is the best." But you never. It's just like yeah, maybe like. That's the same thing. Like Triple H, when I felt when he started, it was very cool to get his honest opinions up, and now he's gone in that like, well, I hope you're enjoying the show. It's all part of it. I'd be completely fine, and this is just for the show because I'm not actually mad. I see people all the time mad. I don't care if Triple H wants to play in kayfabe, sure, let him have his fun, cool. But it's like it'd be different if all the press conferences were kayfabe. But it's weird to say that, and then in the same like press conference hour, you have Kathy Kelly and Cody Rhodes being like, "Yeah, they let him go, but he's back." Like at that point, you tell everybody like, "Hey, we're gonna cave." Like even if the dirt sheets know, like we're gonna tell everybody this was part of the story. So it just makes them look like kind of silly.
My point on Twitter is like it's not a work because Cody is such a worker that like on Chris Van Vliet he was saying like I didn't know I was gonna beat Roman until the ref counted 3.
Yes. Because Chris asked us like, "Oh, what did you feel like when you knew you were gonna win it?" And that was the answer. He's like, "You know, I went through." It's like, "Yeah, all right." You just fought shot on fucking the big dog, like so. But and that's where it's like again, it makes him just look kind of silly. If that's what Triple H wants to do, great, whatever. He's running the stuff, so we've heard that all dirt sheet stuff that it happened within 72 hours that he was talking to other places. Apparently, which I find is another interesting Triple H note, is if this is true, the fact that Truth was like screening calls to everybody until Big Nick Khan stepped up. So it's funny to see like that's who everyone now at least looks as like the power guy. And then apparently Truth, which I guess we can start switching to, he requested that they call him Ron Killings, which I love this. The rumor was so when he leaves WWE, he can use his own name that's already bigger, which I'm like, good for you, man. Get it. And that's the thing where it's like, obviously, it's a super tough situation, not even to admit a mistake, because it's like if an interviewer asks, let's say Triple H doesn't kayfabe, and he's like, "Yeah, we let him go." If they ask, "Why did you bring him back?" and others, that's a very tough answer, and you don't want to make other people feel bad. But all you gotta say is, "Hey, we underutilized this person, and the crowd reception was there, and we brought him back," because that's what happened, right? Because as much as like I like Dakota Kai, the crowd's not chanting for her. Same with Carlito. Most of the general audience, they probably don't even notice he's gone, right? But with Truth, people love Truth forever. And we only talked about a little bit last week. To me, it was always weird that, like, this guy's not going to become, like, a Legends deal. Like, it just felt odd, but that's fine. Like, and I think it was smart because I think with some of the decisions and then some of the business decisions, you can feel the WWE, like, fuck the machine feeling right now. And that was smart. Be like, hey, we fucked up. So that's why it was such an easy layup for Triple H, but just to do that, it was such a good, like, little moment. Like, okay, whatever. But, and I love that. And I hope, because I remember when we did the predictions for main event or no, you guys did that. David said, I want him to be right. It wasn't. He said he thought in the Cena, I already call him Ron Killings, our Truth match that for like a 5-minute sprint, he'd go back to serious R-Truth and drop the comedy and like kick Cena's ass, right? But that didn't happen. He just did
my prediction was that it was gonna be a 3-minute squash where he hit.
Yeah, you were more right, and I
predicted like the exact match. Yeah,
R-Truth, all he did was the 5 moves of doom. Cena kicked out, and then he hit him. I would have, and that's what I hope they do for Night of Champions. I would love what David said, where he hits those with comedy.
25-minute pay-per-view.
I don't know. I don't need that. I don't need that. But I do want a moment where R-Truth is like, no, I'm fucking taken serious here, and he starts beating Cena's ass where it was just comedic. So if they do the rematch, I hope that happens. I think they're in a very interesting spot because Cody came back. He got cheered on the promo on SmackDown. He got cheered on Money in the Bank. They haven't seen with Logan Paul, so I get that. But this feels similar to like when Sammy was with the Bloodline, like feuding, and then Cody came in after, and there was a bunch of people that thought Sammy should have won. I feel like they're very close. We'll see how the crowd goes. I feel like they're
Truth rolls up Cena and Saudi.
that's what
champion.
I feel like with the release thing, they're setting up people to be really excited for Truth and the Cena match. And I hope that people don't look like, oh man, but Cody's got to do. Like, I just feel like, man, they're setting up Cody in another peculiar situation here because that's the Cody pinned Cena, but that wasn't the story last night. The story was Truth was back and Cena ran away from him.
Truth won the title. Truth and Cody at SummerSlam. Cody finally gets his win.
That'd be great. Yeah, an
Truth.
ultra heel. He didn't work with Cena, but so I'm interested to see what they do with this whole thing and that's where it's been both times, right? Because I was worried about with Sammy and it didn't affect Cody at all, and I was worried for nothing. And then WrestleMania, it did affect him a little bit, but as I said in the Discord, I do get more of a sense. We'll see how the rest of the year goes. It does feel like the crowd just wanted to see 17, right? But I could be wrong. But Cody didn't get booed last night. Cena got cheered, but that's to me the difference of Cena can get cheered. That's fine. When Cody gets booed, that's when it's like, oh, okay, that's, can he be the guy or the quarterback?
People were cheering Roman at Mania when he was fighting Cody, but they weren't booing Cody.
Exactly. There's a difference, and that's where I think it's like, okay, they just want to see 17, and we could transfer that into some predictions now. So Night of Champions, we're leading to King of the Ring. They're doing a shortened version, which I wish they didn't. I wish they just figured it out before and did it, but that's okay. They're doing 4 Fatal 4-Ways, and then we go right into the semifinals.
Yeah. And then interesting, this one could... Like, finals could technically be people from the same brand. Because it's each 4-way. It's like, there's a Raw one, a SmackDown one, on both sides. And then the winners of each one of those fight each other. And then the final. So, like, if there was, like, if a SmackDown person won the semis on one side and a SmackDown person won the semis on the other side, you could get a both brand. So you're technically doing more cross-brand matches. But the final could technically be people from the same brand. Okay, so
who is your early prediction wins for the men and women? And if you have any ideas or theories who you have for finals, I have a men's final. I don't have a women's final, but I have one of those. So who do you think's winning these? Because they did say that they're getting shots at SummerSlam again, which I like. I like that being like a mini, rumble. It's there. Yeah. I like tournaments that do that where it's a big thing, whether it's a title or number one contendership. But is this how Cody's getting the Cena rematch? I think
it's gonna be because I don't know, because the champs. Because last year was 2 heels winning, but it was 2 champs as faces. So now, if the champs are heels, then it has to be faces winning then, right?
I forgot it was in Saudi. At one point, I'm like, oh, I think they're going to do Cody and Punk as the finals. That'd be great. But I'm like, oh, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think maybe he gets to... Because I don't even know... Because I don't think he'd even take, like, a loss here. I feel like he just loses in the first 4-way. Like,
who, Cody?
Not getting pinned. Punk.
Oh, I think your prediction a couple episodes ago, I think it might not even get there. I think he might just get tsunami'd. Like, I think they might just attack him.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I think he'll be in a qualifier where he just gets, like, destroyed. Because it's 4-way, so no DQ. Like, I feel like they just destroy him in one of these matches with someone else. Like, maybe, like, Gable. Breaker or something like that. Like, they say, like, oh, we're coming for Cena's... Like, Braun's in the tournament because, like, oh, he'll come for Cena's title instead.
That's what I love. My pitch last week. Have the stables, like, there's 2 world titles. You don't got to fight over this. Win the Rumble. Win the bank. Why are you fighting? That'd be great. But, yeah, okay. So, but, yeah, who do you think's winning the men's?
Because I don't know if Cody really needs it to get a title shot. So then, let me just think. I'll think of it with Cody not winning it. So it'd be for the Raw, so to face Seth at SummerSlam. Yeah.
And that's why I don't think it works, because I think they're doing Seth and Punk, and Punk wouldn't win that.
Unless the theory of Cody wins it at Saturday night's main event against All In, because they want the news story. So then would be Cody's opponent.
I cannot have Cody's title win have 3 commercial breaks in the middle of it. Like that's got to be SummerSlam. Like, I think they do a hot angle there, but... I'm trying to think because like I don't think it'd be Jay because that'd be weird. I don't think it could be like I wouldn't be opposed if they actually had Gunther go back to back, but face
That's what
Gunther
I
this
was
time.
thinking. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
that'd be
thinking you
fun.
could get a two-time, and I mean like to be like the true king of like I could see
Hmm.
Gunther just winning it again.
Yep,
I
I
don't think
could.
that's out of the question.
No, I don't think so either because I don't think there's any
And like I
other.
said, that way he can just like he can do his matches for a month and then just promos
Yeah,
until he gets another title match.
yeah.
What else?
'Cause I'm trying to
Who
think
are
if there's
some
any
other
other
people?
viable people because Punk's there, not there. He's gone. I don't think it would be Jay if he lost the title. It's not going to be any of Paul's group.
King Alistair Black.
God, no, no,
I
good
feel like he could get to
good
like
Rusev.
I feel like he could get to like a semis or
Oh
like
yeah, I could see that.
finals.
Yeah, we're not getting the king though of Aleister Black, So, yeah, I'm following the Cody thing. I think they're just gonna have it that he gets through trials and tribulations. They've done this match before at Saudi, so I could be wrong, but I think they're gonna make the finals Cody and Paul. I think to make because they tease some tension between Logan
Yeah,
and
because
Cena.
remember I was thinking before this whole truth stuff, I thought it was gonna be Logan and Cena
Yes.
for the title
And
in
we didn't talk
Saudi.
about that. They were actually pushing each other. They argued. That's
Yeah,
like the
that
hot
was literally my
take.
prediction. I was like,
Yeah.
they're gonna argue, and then that sets up the match. Well, actually, with truth, I think
And
that's the
because
match you have to do.
to me, I just don't think you want to put in a potential very in this situation with Cody. Maybe they're wrong. Maybe they're like, hey, let's put him up against a popular babyface and see what happens, and we want to test it. But to me, if they're trying to get Cody to be number one babyface again, no one really wants to see Paul win that. So that's why I think that's an easy Cody gets up. I don't think the Saudi crowd would really like go against Cody, but I mean like, that's like an easy like
Yeah, they love Cody.
yeah. But Paul like even like for online, it's like no one's gonna be like, yeah, like let's see Paul and Cena at SummerSlam. Like that's not gonna happen. So my predictions for the men is it's Cody versus Paul. And then Paul can even cut his promo about how he's gonna teach Cena some stuff. Like they can tease that, and maybe they'll still do Cena and Paul once Cena's a babyface. But that's my prediction: is Cody Paul. Cody gets the win. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. So, but the Gunther things like
Yeah,
could happen as well too. I didn't even think about that.
I guess yeah, I could see Cody. I'm trying to think, just I guess because Paul makes sense. I'm just trying to think who's another person it could be.
And like yeah, because who's a
Uh,
viable like bad guy? Like I don't think
Unless you
they.
have like Braun Breaker get to the finals or something,
You
and you
actually could
Cody
easily
and
do
Braun
that.
Breaker,
You could
and
do that.
that's
Yeah.
SmackDown versus Raw.
No, that's a good option because they did that a bunch of time with Batista back in day with Evolution. It's like, oh, if he wins this, he might first Triple H. What happened until before the actual turn happened, and even then, like you said, they could say, I don't gotta go after Seth. I'll go
Yeah,
after
I think
Cena. So
that'll be my prediction.
that's a good
I'll
one.
say Cody and Braun.
No, I like that one. Okay, so that yeah, I could see either of those two happening. And then the women, I don't know who it's gonna be against. And I don't even know if I love this prediction, but what I'm sticking with it because I like it. I think it's gonna be. Now I'm talking myself out of it actually because my in the Discord my pitch was Jade wins the tourney. She wins at SummerSlam, but Naomi cashes in for that ultra just like F you heat, gets the win back. But as we've talked about before, usually someone keeps that briefcase for a little while longer, and SummerSlam's that's a pretty quick turnaround unless Triple H does want to get rid of it. So my prediction for Naomi winning is still either Jade or Bianca winning the title and then Naomi taking it. But
Yeah, that's
I'm
my
actually gonna
prediction as well.
I'm gonna kick it and say it's not SummerSlam. I've talked myself out of it, and I don't know if it will be
Well,
Jade.
the rumor is that it's Jade and Charlotte at Evolution. So I feel like they
Oh,
cost each other in some way
okay.
here.
That's
That
a.
was the rumor from like a few weeks ago.
I know they've done a couple stare down. That's a
That
ultimate
was her
there.
first like
Yep.
Jade's first appearance in
Yeah.
WWE was her
And when
and
Charlotte came back
before
after
Charlotte got
promo, they
injured.
like
Yeah,
stared at each other. Yeah, I can. Obviously, it's a big match. That's going to be interesting to see how Charlotte works with that one. And because like that's somebody that like man, sh- they're not doing too much with her since WrestleMania. Like she's on SmackDown. Don't get me wrong, but it just feels like she's been like on these big shows almost non-existent. So I'm kind of surprised, but yeah, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a carry job, but I think Charlotte's gonna have to do a lot of work that night. So I don't know, but yeah, who do we have right now? We have Tiffany, and then we have God, who am I forget? EO.
I mean, I
Oh,
feel like they could just do like just Stephanie just wins it,
Stephanie.
just like off the bat.
I think they could do, and actually, what I'm gonna say, I think Rhea's just gonna win it. Because my prediction last week with Rhea winning Money in the Bank, I said she was gonna do the RVD. Hey EO, you got a month, get ready. I think that's what this is going to be. And then they do EO, Rhea, SummerSlam, big match. And I think this is where EO drops it. I think she gets a hold for a little, but then I think Rhea gets it back. Whether it's Stephanie or Julia at WrestleMania, I don't know. I think it's probably going to be one of those two, actually, because there's T Stephanie. And again, we've talked about this before. There's a big rumor that Triple H thinks that Julia and Rhea is like, that's the big one, which I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying maybe he just really wants to see that. So my actual prediction is it's gonna be Rhea, and it's gonna have two Cody and Rhea winning, and people are gonna be a little pissed, but I'm fine with it. But yeah, that's my prediction. I'm going with Rhea, and you're sticking with Stephanie.
Yeah. Now I'm just thinking ahead for like Crown Jewel, because obviously I feel like Rhea's gonna be champion by then, because you're gonna do the champion versus champion match in Australia.
Oh
So I'm
right,
wondering
yeah,
like
Rhea versus Tiffany, but
would she
probably
face like
Naomi.
Naomi? Yeah,
Yeah,
heel
that's a good
Naomi.
one.
Because I'm
Yeah,
thinking it's Cody Seth, like
yeah,
that's the men's one,
yeah.
and with Seth winning,
Yeah, Seth's got to win, and then Naomi Rhea, and she gets
and
the
Rhea
win.
can
Yeah,
beat Naomi.
that could be the main. That's the name event in that show. Either one, they could do Tiffany just to do like we're giving you a WrestleMania type main event at this
Yeah.
show. But Naomi's that's an easy
Or
one.
maybe
Naomi
that
can take the
could, yeah,
loss.
or Naomi like cashes in there or something, like, cause it'd be like a non-title
I
match, and then she like cashes in on Tiffany or something
I
like
really
that.
want that to happen one year on those Crown Jewels shows of someone cashing on somebody just in that like right as they're doing the
They
celebration.
teased it last year,
Yeah,
cause that was the Tiffany was about to cash in on Nia.
I'd go the full nine, and because Triple H loves to do the logo at the screen, I would do the person wins. They do the fucking trophy presentation, the fireworks go off, and then right after, boom. And that, how sad is that? Like, you have this crown jewel championship, but you lost your actual championship. Like, I
Yeah.
think there's something really cool about that. Like, I hope they do that, but I worry it's like the War Games thing where they tease doing it, and then it was just a tease. Like, oh, you had it right there. Like, that's a cool way, but
You know, but I feel like
yeah.
that's possible. I could see that. Yeah, I think Cody Seth for sure. Like we were
Mhm.
saying, like that match is happening, and I could see Rhea. Yeah, Rhea Naomi for a heel for her to face.
And honestly, if they didn't already have, we know what's happening. We know Julie's just gonna fucking destroy Zelina coming up in a month or two here. But if they
Just
didn't,
just like on SmackDown next week,
two minute
she's doing
squash,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Brock Cena SummerSlammer, you know. But I honestly thought if that wasn't happening, I could have seen, you know, we were saying, oh, they strapped Julia up. I could have seen Triple H doing that. I've strapped or Stephanie, just have Julia just go through that tournament and just dominate and win, kind of like because they did that a little bit with Nia, right? Like her win
I
against
could see. Could you
Lyra,
see that
you know.
being like Rhea versus Julia as the final?
Oh, I could see it. Yeah, I think you could, because I think they like to have those finals be somewhat big. Because yeah, you had Lyra and Nia, which that was different, but still that was a big thing for Lyra, and
And
then
then you had
Orton and
Orton and
Gunther.
Gunther,
Yeah,
which was
that was
like a
big.
mega match.
Yeah, so no, Julia and Rhea, I could definitely see that, or you could even get Rhea and Stephanie there too. I could see that as well, because I think you got to have somebody there. The other one I thought about pitching, because I agree with your point that they could cost each other, but I could see them also doing Charlotte Rhea 3 there as well, because they teased that at Mania, and but I don't know if Charlotte needs another loss. I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
Alexa helping Rhea beat Charlotte.
Fuck, maybe it's Alexa. Maybe that stare down on Money in the Bank. Maybe it's Alexa versus Rhea. To be honest, like I could see that because Alexa could take a
You just have
loss.
Alexa just beat everyone on her side of the bracket. Beat
Well,
Charlotte, beat
well, hey,
Julia.
but hang on. Hey, but in a fatal four way, you can do the sneak
No,
win,
yeah,
right?
I'm just
That's
joking.
easy. Yeah, you can do. And then whoever the one on one, maybe it's like a who knows how she does it, but I don't actually think it's out of the realm possibility Alexa versus Rhea. I really don't. I think they
Yeah,
could do it, and I also don't think Alexa, like Rhea beating Alexa. I don't think people are gonna be like pissed about that. I don't think the fan base of Alexa can be like, man, Rhea Hogan, you know. So we will see. But anything else on King of the Ring? Anything else in the WWE side? Because I think we're moving past into some
um,
NXT stuff
yeah. I
here.
think that's pretty much all we have. I'm excited for the tournaments. I feel like the final matches are gonna be good.
Yeah.
Last year's were really good. Like we're like
And you got
I don't
4
know.
multi-mans as opposed to the top talent.
Yeah,
That's your whole bandwagon
not
right
triple
there.
threats though, so not as
Oh,
good.
that has to be triple threats. There's a
Yeah.
difference between the yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the finals are definitely gonna be some good matches. You
Yeah.
know, Saudi Cody he locks in for Saudi, so it's gonna be.
Oh yeah,
And
100%.
now I've talked myself into wanting Cody and Braun, but now I feel like that could happen. Maybe that is the Saturday night's main event. Like they're both from Atlanta. Like I feel
Oh,
like you
okay.
could do that or something, but now I want to see that match because I feel like it'd be really
Oh,
sick.
it's happening. It's
And
definitely
Cody
happening.
would take a crazy spear from Braun
Yes,
Breaker.
it's definitely like honestly, like not to be that guy because it's I feel like it's meaned upon all the time, but like that is a WrestleMania main event too. Like that is also like something like you could build up Braun enough to do that. They're two generational talents as far as like their dads being in the business. Like there's multiple stories to tell there. So even then that could be a SummerSlam match in the future. But yeah, Cody and Braun, I feel like that's gonna have some gasoline on that
Yeah,
one.
I
I
feel
just
like
feel.
that's on like and like I said, that could be an on the way to Cody versus Seth. Like
Yes. Yeah,
you do that
absolutely.
one.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll be back by next time we're talking. Like I said, likely I think we're gonna try and do the night of because Night of Champions
Yeah,
isn't the
because it's an
day.
earlier show,
Yeah.
so
So that's what we're gonna try to do, and we'll talk about the King of the Ring winners, the SummerSlam. We'll have the
we'll
SummerSlam
probably
main
have
events.
evolution matches probably by then.
Yeah, right. So that'll be a good time. So, yeah. So two things on NXT. We have Mariah May officially debuted in NXT. Well, the Glamour's debuted right now. Name change coming, and then Worlds Collide. We can talk about Mariah because I have some to add there. But yeah, she's back or not back. She's there. Back to her, she might be back. You know, all
Yeah.
the memes about her being a fan and whatnot. But it's I think all that matters to me is one. I've said this before. Mariah, she wasn't going to get involved with the tone or the Monet sort of situation. So I feel like, okay, what else can she do? Some people just finish a story. And it's good to move on. We talked about last week where I'd like AJ to go AEW and I'd like Willow to stay in AEW where she is, and I'd like
See
Jamie Hayter go to
The
WWE. You
AJ
know?
thing where he responded to Sean Legacy, where like
No.
Sean Legacy like an evolved guy, and he just had a tweet. It's like I want to wrestle AJ Styles, and AJ Styles replied like bet. So people were like, Will Ospreay calling this guy out for months, and then an evolved guy says he wants to wrestle, and he immediately responds, "Yep, let's do
Yeah, I'm not getting
it."
that, but that's where it fits here. It's gonna work here. It's gonna be a little bit different because yeah, she's not gonna be doing a lot of same sex fun gimmick stuff. She's not gonna do the blood and stuff, but she's a great talent and she got a really good pop. It's a smaller building, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing worse than the commentators being like one of the hottest free agents, and it's a mild whatever pop. Like I think she's going to do very well. I was gonna say 3 years. I'm gonna say like 2 years. She's gonna be a WWE World Champion. She also could be a mid card person, but I think Sean's gonna really like her. I think Triple H. Yes, there's also the meme of my favorite wrestler, and they called me Triple M. But I just think she's gonna fit very well in that system. And sometimes you just lose some talent. You can't. It's undeniable. It's gonna happen. But I don't think she's gonna be in NXT too long either. I think I don't know if it's gonna be as short as Rock or Julia and Stephanie, but I don't think it's gonna be
I could see
too
her if she's
long.
gonna win the title like pretty much right away. I
Yes,
could see her like this time next year not being in NXT anymore.
I agree. I could even see it being next year, like draft season, which I guess is this time, or even a WrestleMania call up. Like I could see that be one of those, or it's in that situation where we thought that with Julia, right? But it's like this same thing where she appears on Raw or SmackDown a couple times, and then it's like, oh, Mariah, whatever Monroe, which I hope they do go with that name is signed. So I think that's gonna happen. But yeah, I think whatever the next big NXT pay per view, I think they're gonna literally just strap her
Yeah, I
up like
mean
right
literally
away.
they put Great American Bash same time as
Yes.
All In. Like she's winning the title
It's
there for
happening.
sure.
Like, sorry, JC Jane. I was like, oh, JC Jane finally got it. Hey, yeah, it's just to be that transitional champion, which is again interesting because there seems to be as right now, Mariah looks to be a face, Jordan's a face. Again, what I want is either I want Jordan Grace and Mariah's gonna be good. I don't know who should be heel, but that's gonna feed some generations right there.
Jordan can work. I mean, it
I
depends what
want
they want.
Grace as
Like
a heel.
I've
I want it.
seen the like people are saying like, oh, like Mariah acting like a face, like we haven't seen what she
Yes.
did in AEW. So I don't know. I feel like it could go both ways. I mean, just depending on what story they're gonna tell with
Yeah.
Mariah.
I
Because
think
I
it
feel
works
like
better for her to be
JC
the
Jane,
heel,
like
but
even as a heel, like she could just beat JC Jane
Yeah.
as like, and then still be a heel afterwards.
I will say I very much on Twitter very much appreciate because I don't have this time, but I appreciate all the people that screenshot all the people that hate on Mariah May when she's in AEW and they deleted those tweets and they're like, "Oh man, she's in NXT." I love the those like honestly most of
I
those are
think
just
my only old tweet about Mariah May was someone saying that her title reign was being booked well, and I was like, no, it's not. And
no.
then that's like my only old tweet about Mariah.
Her time in AEW, I'm like a 50-50 because like all the stuff with her and Tony, absolutely love. Like when Tony came back as OG Tony Storm and everything, and now we know.
But I'll say it was all for me. It was like it was just like waiting for Tony to
Yes,
come
it
back
was, and
because
that's.
she missed like pay-per-views. It was
Mhm.
like all on Collision
She had one pay per
Eliminators
view with Thunder Rosa. Remember, she had that one defense where they did like some
and
Texas
Willow.
whatever match. Oh, they
She
did
had
do
a match
Willow.
with
Okay,
Willow. But then my biggest problem with it was the Mina stuff because like Mina came
yeah.
back after Grand Slam. Then they didn't interact like at all until Full Gear, which is like a month or two later. And
Hmm.
at Full Gear they had like the turn. And then the actual match happened a month after that on
And it
just
wasn't.
TV, and
Yeah,
it
and it
was like
wasn't
a
the
12
greatest.
minute match.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
That was.
and that
I
was
agree with you.
they just dragged out the story. Like it was four segments, and they put one segment a month.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Mina stuff that could have been a great carry job until they do the Tony stuff, but it was very not well done there. So I agree that's where I'm 50-50 where the Tony stuff that was all good. And I appreciate the idea of the she's a rookie, gets close to her, turns on her, gets the title, and then loses the title and they do the Hollywood ending. I love all that stuff. I agree with you. The stuff in between, that's where it was tough. But
It wasn't like a private party or Daniel
no,
Garcia bad, but it was like
she was still on
just like
TV cutting promos and
underutilized.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I will say though, to go back to old Tress, 'cause me and David both had this where we loved the promo, but when Tony Storm turned, we were both like, oh man, this was way too quick. Now I understand why, because her contract was coming up for me. So now retroactive, like, nope, that wasn't too quick. That was the right time because they would not have had time to do that. But again, it would have been nice for some stuff. But no, I'm very excited to see what she can do. And yeah, I think she's going to do very well. And again, hopefully just a decent name is chosen. Don't know why. I get why. I just think they should go with Mariah May. I think it's a great name. It is her real name. Lots of people have their real name, but whatever.
I
But
think it's like they just want to like
they
copy
just want to
because I
own
feel
it.
like some
Yeah.
of the people who have their same name own their like I think Ethan Page like owns his name so that like he could merchandise it, and Jade Cargill owns her name. So I
But then
feel
why didn't they
like
change that then? You know,
I
that's
don't
what's so,
know.
it's so
Yeah,
that's it's
it's
because
weird because I think the whole thing with Vince wanting to change people's names, it was like, from what I hear, like when he started to change like everyone's names in like the 2020s, it was apparently something with like I think it was Chelsea Green. I think was like something about like she wasn't getting like merchandise money even when she got released, or like she was
mm,
supposed to get it and they were like keeping it from her or something like that. So then at that point, Vince was like, we need to change everyone's name so that way like if I because Chelsea Green is her real name.
yeah.
So it was like it was something like that. It was like her and Keith Lee were like the ones who like caused Vince to want like we need to change everyone's names.
And well, yeah, and that's where you got Shorty G and shit like that. But that's where
Yeah.
it's funny. There's so much of that time where there was Jericho's talked about this where it was like 2003 to like '06, where Vince was the opposite, where he's like everyone's going by their real name, they're going by where they really live. So there, that's what's odd with right now is there is always like eras where it's like, oh, for these 3 to 4 years everyone was real name, and then for these 3 to 4 they went by with like you're Mordecai and you're this, and now it's like yeah, it's weird because we're
It's
getting a
just like
mix.
a
So
mix. Yeah, it's like some
and
people
I don't
just
know
keep
why.
their names.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
again,
weird.
it's not like I'm like, oh my god, like she'll be fine. Even if she leaves, Mariah May's an
Yeah,
established
I've seen
name, she'd be
even
fine.
like the most anti WWE people I hear say like eventually like unless it's just like a terrible name, everyone just gets used to
They
like
do eventually, yeah.
Gunther.
I'm
Yeah.
like finally starting to get rid of. I'm getting used to Saints, like finally, and they'll get used to it. And like I said, Mariah May's a good name. Where let's say she does leave WWE, it's like she already established that before. You know, it's kind of like with when Daniel Bryan went back to Bryan Danielson, he had a whole like 10-year career as Brian, like his real name, and it was like okay, this feels natural again. Same as thing as Mariah May. So, yeah. Is there any before you review Worlds Collide? Is there anything else we haven't talked about, missed, or anything?
NXT. I don't really think so. I guess I'm just thinking, like I said before, I don't know. This is just like a head I don't know if there's really gonna be NXT matches like on Evolution, especially since like they have Great American Bash like the day before. So I just feel like,
Mm,
yeah, maybe just like a battle royal or like some sort of multi-woman tag team match or something
okay.
like that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, curious to see what her name will be. I feel like it'll be a Ricky Saints type scenario where she'll keep Mariah or
Yeah.
May or like one of those
They should
two.
keep. They should. I just feel like yeah, keep Mariah. Mariah's good. I do like the Mariah Monroe thing. I think that is like a full like great kind of it. It's like the Aleister Black thing. It kind of keeps with some like lore of Tony, and then if case, I think Tony is AEW lifer. Don't get me wrong, but in case you never know, Tony does come available. You could still like kind of tie that back in the future. Like that's what I'm hoping for. I hope they keep the but whatever, they'll name her something else. But yeah, how was Worlds Collide? You had a lot of it going on there. They were streaming on YouTube. I think they were happy with the numbers, sound like or whatnot. But yeah, how
Yeah,
was the actual
I
show?
checked on YouTube. I think like the English feed had like I checked earlier today had like 2.6 million viewers or something like that, and the Spanish one had like 1.5 million or something like that.
Mm,
Uh, but yeah, I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was really good. I gave it like overall like a 4 out of 5.
nice.
Like it was just some
Just because
really
the
fun.
iguana is he the point five? Yeah.
Or no, no. Like I thought it was a really solid show. Yeah, they started off with like saying like the Mexican and United States
I heard
anthems.
there's some blowback on that
Yeah,
because she
apparently she
screwed it
like
up.
messed up a line or something.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, they had like all the people there in the ring,
Mhm.
and then yeah, Ray was there and he gave like a little speech and stuff.
That
Uh,
groin, man. Like, I know. I think it's another injury on top of that, but man, that really that he's been out for a while now. Like I guess just WrestleMania, but just because like I felt like
I mean, it's really only been like a month if you think about
I
it.
guess it's just longer because I remember when it was first reported, like oh he might just be out like a week or two, but now that's like longer. It feels like man, like he should have been back. But I
Yeah.
yeah, go on.
And so yeah, then the first match was let me just open these up here so I can just remember the names here.
While you're looking it up, did they for the AAA title match with Vikingo and Gable? Did they go by AAA rules?
Um it was
Or
like I mean sort of like they used tables and stuff. It was sort
or
of like
AEW
a
rules with a
yeah, it was
Z?
like a referee discretion
Yeah, okay, so
type
definitely AEW
match.
rules, yeah.
Yeah, which is triple like from what I hear AAA rules is like the same thing. They're like
Yeah,
no
and New
rules
Japan does the
pretty
same thing
much.
too. There's no
Yeah, and
reason
they had
Kenny
like
Omega
they
would just
did
bust
like
out
a
tables.
yeah, they did like a getting in at 9 spot, but then
Yeah, okay,
also at other points it did feel like they were outside the ring for like 20
yeah,
seconds. So it was like yeah, I'd say like New Japan type rules where you can just kind of do whatever as long as you're not like just like blatantly like low blowing or
yes, a
whatever.
web, yeah, big, yeah.
So yeah, the first match was a 6 man with it was the LWO plus Lindsay Dorado because I think it was Walking Wild got like hurt on Raw like during a speed match or something,
Mm.
so he had to be replaced by Lindsay Dorado and against yeah Mr. Iguana, Aerostar, and Octagon Jr. And yeah, Iguana he was over instantly. He did like the Demon Balor like crawl, but like all the way into the ring from the entranceway. And
Wow.
yeah, he had his puppet. He had it on the ground and then kicked it and flipped it, and it landed on his shoulder for his entrance. And so yeah, you
He's
had
getting a
you
rumble spot. He's getting a
yeah,
rumble
he
spot.
definitely is. He legitimately is.
He's the new.
Uh,
Sorry, Joe Henry, your time's over.
yeah.
Guess who's versus Randy next year wrestling? It's the fucking Mr. Iguana.
So yeah, the match was like it was fun. It had some spots, but people wanted the iguana tag, and yeah, he went in. They did the whole comedy spot with the iguana. At first, he was just like he was like hitting people with it, and then he like threw it down on Lindsay and like started counting as like a pin. And started
Mm.
getting like passed around to like all the LWO people, and then that's when he started attacking it, and Iguana went wild. They did some dives, and Lindsay Dorado just like didn't even try to catch Octagon Jr. Like he was just like just like not even paying attention. Octagon Jr. does a dive over, Roach just lands flat on his back on the floor. Like didn't even attempt to catch him. Uh, but yeah, Octagon ended up getting the win. He did like I think it's called. It's sort of like it's the moves that Hangman does. I think it's called like moonsault and battery. I think something like that, where you do like a moonsault while like holding onto the guy. It's like he has the guy for like a body slam, and then he does a moonsault while holding him and like lands on him, and that was his finisher. And so yeah, after that they celebrated, and Dom was there, and they started like arguing. He said
Yeah.
like, "How can you be a fan of Ray if you know he's a deadbeat dad?"
I saw the clip. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah, always. I love it. Still going on the deadbeat dad
Yeah.
stuff.
So that was the first match there. So yeah, pretty fun, and the crowd was really into it. Then next we had Lola Vice and Stephanie Vicaire
I've seen some
versus
gifs. I've seen some
yeah,
stuff going on. Yeah.
and that one it was okay. Like people
Yeah.
like I was reading the Lucha blog thing who was saying like A doesn't really have any good women to like
Mm.
wrestle, which says different because he said like in WWE the women are very much like a draw on the same level as the men. Where in AAA not really, so they didn't really have much to work with here. He said he did hear that like all these matches like they were in the PC this week like doing them. So they tried to make them as good as they were, but this one was just like it was fine. Like they just kind of worked over Lola Vice for a while, and then Stephanie tagged in, did all her moves, and they won the match.
Yeah.
So it was all right. Give it like I don't know, like 2.5 or
Yeah.
3.
Just
It
an
wasn't
entertaining
very
mid
long.
card. Yeah.
Yeah, and people were into it,
Live show
obviously.
charisma. That's all you
Yeah.
needed. Yeah.
What else? Then we had the Legado del Fantasma against El Hijo the Dr. Wagner Jr., which is like the son of Dr. Wagner Jr.,
Mm.
which I think people call him an easier way. He goes also just by Wagner 3
Yeah.
or Wagner 3G, which is I'll just call
Oh
him
yeah.
that. And then Psycho Clown and Pagano. And yeah, these guys they each got in the first match they all came out together, and this one they each got like their own entrance, which is I guess they're bigger stars. I'd heard of Wagner 3 before because WWE wanted to sign him, and the whole thing was like it was either an issue with his name or his mask is like the rumor. Like they
Mm.
either wanted him to not have a mask or wanted to change his name or something like that.
Hmm.
And he said no and signed with AAA, but now they bought AAA. But I mean, good. It worked for him. Like he wrestled in WWE and kept his name and his mask. So
It's like with the like Ziggler, like the when he got there right away and they announced that WWE partnership. I was like,
yeah,
what the? And they still use them, but it's just funny.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, this match, it was all right. Like Uh, I thought it was fine. Pagano definitely. I was thinking like I've heard that one of these guys is super washed, but I don't remember which one people said it was. And it's definitely Pagano. This guy botched every single one of his moves.
Tonga
Like
Loa special.
yeah, he
Going
was
on, yeah.
like at like his first move he tags in, he goes for like a middle rope like double drop kick, and like he only hits one. Like he just like hits one and just completely misses the other. Then he goes for like a double like flapjack or something like that, where he's supposed to like lift both guys up, and like he lifts one of them, and the other just like
Just jumps,
doesn't
kind
just
of.
yeah, just
Yeah.
like goes off to the side, just like completely botches it. But I mean, he is good at taking bumps because they did this time on purpose, not like Octagon Jr. Like he goes to do a dive, and Santos moved one of his guys out of the way, and he goes over the top rope and just lands flat on his back
Hmm.
on the outside. And this one, Legato did win with Santos getting the win, and I think they're gonna wrestle at Triple Mania. I think they announced it's like the Garzas, I think Pagano and Psycho Clown, some other team, and
Mm.
then they said a team from TNA will be there, and I think the rumors it's gonna be the Nemeths, the
Oh
Nemeth
god, I
brothers.
fucking knew it. Yeah, I fucking knew they go with Nemes. Yeah,
uh,
that'd be fun enough.
so yeah, it was an okay match. I'd give it like yeah, like a 3.5. I thought it was fun. and the Garças were all wearing like Legado were all wearing like military like camo pants. I don't really
Hmm.
know why. I guess it would be like they're going to war or something like that. But I thought it was just like a weird attire because they're just like I'd never seen them wear that before. Then we had the four way, which this one was the one I thought was gonna like steal the show, and like I enjoyed it, but I don't know, maybe I set my expectations like too high for it. But I thought it was still a fun time. They did some cool spots. Javon like attempted like a swan like what would you call it oh, what's the name of the move where you like that Shane McMahon does, where he like does the kick
Shooting.
across
Oh,
the
coast to
ring?
coast.
Yeah, he attempted
Yeah.
to do like a swanton coast to coast, like
Jesus
like it was
Christ.
like Phoenix was like hung like he was like pretty much in the corner on one side, hung over the ropes like I forget if it was the middle rope, but like hung on the ropes, and then Javon was on the other like ring post and did like as if he was gonna do like a coast to coast and like kick him, but
Mhm.
like a swanton version where he would like leg drop him. And
Yeah.
he like I don't think he connected, like they
That's some
changed the
action
camera angle
figure.
so it like looked like he hit him, but I don't think it really connected, but it still looked cool and it was still like a wild spot to attend. And
That's
honestly,
some
Javon,
2K shit right
yeah, he's
there. Yeah.
pretty tall, so I think that's the
Yeah.
only way it would have like worked and connected. But yeah, it was like I didn't even know what he was gonna do there. And yeah, what other stuff? Yeah, they did. Ethan Page was trying to do like some lucha type moves. He did, like I said, a John Cena esque Hurricane Rana on one of the guys.
Where the knees heavy, where the knees are hitting
Yeah,
the ring.
and
Yeah.
he did like a frog splash while like in midair he hit like his pose while he was doing the frog splash. And yeah, he ended up retaining, pinning
Mm.
Laredo Kid. He like Javon was going to go for like the top rope like cutter, and he like pulled Laredo Kid like in the way, so he would give him the cutter, and then gave him I think the egos. Oh, what's the name of the move? Twisted Grin. That's what it's called. The rest of
Mm.
Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate. Yeah, this was also a fun match. I'd give it like 4 stars, but yeah, I was expecting this to be like the show stealer. But it was still good. It was
So
still a
good.
fun
Yeah.
match. And then the main event was Vikingo and Chad Gable.
I've heard great things about this. I mean, I don't know if I'll check out the whole show, but I'm probably gonna at least at some
Yeah,
point put this
this
on
one
because
was it
people
was
said it
pretty
can
long.
go locked in a bit because the guys had a lot
Yeah,
of injuries.
yeah, it was 22 minutes. I just looked it
Oh,
up.
that's yeah,
So it was
okay.
definitely yeah main event level.
Hmm.
Yeah, they did some cool stuff. I think it was he was Vikingo was sort of like at the start. It was very much like a technical match, like sort of like Chad just like kind of working over
Hmm.
Vikingo for a while. Where they were mentioning like, oh, he's like they're doing the thing that like people say like in AEW the commentary does when Okada is working really slow. It's like, oh, he has like a
He's
he
taking his
slows his heart
pace.
rate down
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
like yeah. So they're
He
doing
got
that
him
same
right where he
thing.
wants him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing that, and then eventually got into like Vikingo finally like breaking loose of like the ankle locks and stuff like that. And he does like yeah, he did like Gable was like on the apron, like on the outside of like just kind of like he's about to get in,
Mhm.
and then Vikingo did like a 630 to the outside, like hitting him like in the back to the outside, and like pretty much bouncing off Gable from the impact of hitting him with that, which was crazy. And yeah, then you got into like all the moves. Like Gable hit like a top rope like power bomb that like almost looked like a pile driver.
That's what I saw was like yeah, oh pile driver. And then I saw like okay, definitely was someone else, but it pretty much just looked like a top rope pile driver.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then yeah, it went into like yeah, Vikingo and they set up a table on the outside and yeah, Vikingo hits like the apron Canadian destroyer, which he hits it so quickly. It's like a snap Canadian destroyer.
Hmm.
Uh then yeah, they keep on fighting. Vikingo's gonna put Chad through the table. Chad pushes him off. He puts him on the table, does a moonsault through the table, and at that point, honestly, I was like, "Oh, it's over. Chad's actually gonna win." But no, I think I forget if he had him in the ankle lock or if he did like his other finisher. I forget because I think I remember Vikingo like kicking out, so he must have done like a move, not submission.
Hmm.
And yeah, eventually he breaks out. He started like limping, so I was like, oh, he got injured. But apparently he was just selling because they said he was fine at the end. But
Mm.
yeah, he gets him in position, hits the 630 senton and retain the title. And yeah, really awesome match. And yeah, just Chad Gable in the main event's fun. And yeah, crazier that he was gonna work a match later that night, and in that match he took some crazy bumps too. So
Well, and that's where it's just like how pro wrestling is, right? You look at, we were just talking about Ray working a simple 6-man night before WrestleMania, gets hurt out for a month. Then you have fucking Stephanie and Chad pulling double duty
Stephanie
same
working
day.
4 matches
Yeah.
this week. Yeah.
And just like completely, that's how wrestling is, right? You just never know. I know
Yeah,
Ray is older,
Ray
but still.
literally got
Like,
hurt by being pulled out
well,
of
the
the
ring. It was something
Yeah.
so stupid where you got Chad, doing top rope pile drivers completely fine. That's where wrestling is just, it's the dumbest stuff that can injure. And I don't get me wrong. I was surprised they were doing that on Money in the Bank. Another pay per view I understand, but Money in the Bank, I was surprised they were, especially with people that are in those matches, to have them working double duty. But it paid off and it worked well for them. So,
No,
but
yeah. Gable
yeah,
definitely probably like MVP of the weekend,
yeah,
I'd say. Just
yeah,
like in the quality of both the matches he was in.
yeah. I hope. I know they like Grande, so they're gonna stick with it. I hope he gets a singles title next 12 months here already. US IC at least.
I feel like SummerSlam has to be like mask versus mask with him
Yes.
and Penta.
Unmask
gets
him and
unmasked.
then who's you? It's Jacob. So he ain't being Jacob. IC right now is
I feel like
who's
if
IC
you
champ
have
right now?
if you're
Dom. Yeah.
if you have like you said Punk and Gable, I feel like that could actually be an IC feud. If like Punk's wins the
Sure,
IC
yeah,
and Gable's never won the IC, he can like cheat to win
yeah,
and like
I'd be
win
down
the
with
IC
that, and
and
that's
Punk
not gonna
wins
hurt.
it back or
Not gonna
something.
hurt
Yeah.
Punk, and we know Finn ain't fucking beating Dom for the. Or even then, you know what? Even if Finn Balor does retire, if Finn was the one to beat Dom, that would be a good person for Gable to beat as well. Finn and Gable. So I just hope it happens around this time because he is putting in
Yeah, I think
tons
they're
of
definitely
quality work. So
recognizing like obviously they gave him 2 huge matches
yes.
on one weekend
And
and
it's overdue, right? Even last year, people thought he should have had Gunther at Mania, right? And had the IC title. So I just feel like it is long gestating to the point where he needs to get some sort of gold here.
wow,
So
I did the whole review without putting on the the picture. All the people were saying Javon
I saw
honorary Mexican.
yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it. Like, it's all the babies. So like all of them out there, and Javon also in the background too. Like, yeah, I'm kind of here.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. It was like when Cody won the title. There was someone where it's like I guess you can be
It was
here.
LA Knight.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I guess
It's
you
like,
can be here.
Did you even know Cody?
Yeah, it's like the bloodline beat you. That's fine. But same thing happened at WrestleMania 10 with Bret Hart. Like all these people, there was like one person was like, I guess you can raise Bret up, sure, but like you're not a part of the group. And it always happens. Like, get out there, sure. But
Yeah, and they had, I think, yeah, Latin Lover was there in the middle. So they just had like, this is even like, because I don't think Dragon Lee was out here, so they just got like some of the guys out here, the boys celebrating with Vikingo here.
me as well. So yeah, we'll have to see how that partnership continues with other shows they do and how they utilize
I'd honestly
them.
like if they did more, like I saw an idea like maybe you could do this around some of these big shows. It's like a second show. Like if you're not doing like an NXT PLE, just do a Worlds Collide type fun show that gets people excited for. I'd say maybe not on the same day anymore, but I feel like this could be that sort of like weekend if they want to do the weekend takeovers. Like
when they do they should be doing a Worlds Collide with them, WWE AAA.
In England, same day as
I was gonna
Forbidden
say
Door.
if it's not in England, they gotta do a Forbidden Door. They can do their Forbidden Door where it's TNA, AAA, some Evolved people, some WID people.
Portal,
100%. Just watch it. But we'll see what happens here. Get some eyes on some talent. So, but
yeah, they had a good crowd and everything. Like crowds into it. And there's like 10,000 people to the point I think people might have missed the first match of Money in the Bank because Money in the Bank was like a quarter half empty. I think people may have still been making their way over from Worlds Collide.
I agree with you. Not same day. It's kind of a, or at least with NXT when they do it same day as WrestleMania, it was like really early in the morning where this was still later than I thought. But
and people, there's been interviews like a bunch of the NXT people, and like even like Ethan Page and Ricky Sims. I forget who said it. I forget if it was like Jordan or something. It's like in all the years I've ever been in wrestling, like that was the earliest I've ever had to wake up
Yeah.
for, because I think they got there at like it was
It was like
like
6 or
5
5
a.m. their
a.m. Yeah, I
time.
remember
Yeah.
because they kept making jokes to the Hall of Fame about it. Like, oh, Sean has to be there in 2 hours or something. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there you go. That is a episode of the Gimmick. Lots covered there, and yeah, like I said, next couple we'll drop some dates, but the tentative one is probably the Sunday after Night of Champions because we can do that. Evolution predictions, all in
Or same day
predictions,
as
or yeah, same day. Yeah, that's the in the
possibly. I
night.
mean,
Yeah,
depends, but probably
yeah, of
same day.
course. Dave might still be stuck in the airport for all we know, but we'll do that, and then yeah, probably because that's the end of the month. Sometime next couple weeks here, we'll probably between that June 20th to 22nd, I'll narrow down with the boys and do our 2 hour GM mode stream and
When
do that.
exactly
So
is Evolution? I forget. Let me look it up.
it's July 3rd, right? Because it's the day after. All in is July 1st, right? So I think that's or July
Um,
2nd.
it's July 13th.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, 13. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm missing the one there, but yeah. So and that one we're gonna do it on the 13th. That's gonna be a big episode where we're gonna be covering All In, Saturday Night's Main Event, and Evolution. That's one we're gonna do our best not to go on any tangents. We're just gonna go because Evolution hopefully starts at 4 and it'll be later, but
I
that's a big
think,
episode,
yeah,
so
I
we got to
think,
cover that. So
yeah, it's starting, yeah, 7 my time, I think.
yeah,
So a
so we'll
bit
go live
earlier
right
at least,
away. We'll
but
do draft shows,
but
and who
also
knows?
if that's a like a 9 match card or something like that could be longer than like these 4 match cards and that they've
Yeah.
been doing.
So and who knows too? Saturday's Main Event might not have anything, could have massive, but sometimes. So that's the thing where
Yeah,
if
you
there's
have
some minor
Goldberg
matches,
match, Cody winning the title.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that. That's a situation where if there's like a Dom Octagon Junior type match, we'll just be like a quick, hey, what do you think? What do you think? Go, and then the next one. So we'll be more
Yeah.
selective. But yeah, we'll see
We'll
because
figure
All
it
In's
out.
gonna be fucking 18 match card, But yeah,
Gonna
we'll do
do
that. That's a big
30
one.
minutes on Mox retaining his title.
Oh my, that could be the saddest episode of the Gimmick. That could be he's gonna retain. Oh my god. So, but yeah, we'll be back. Some big stuff coming up this summer. Won't be boring. We'll talk to you in a few weeks here.
But